Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Superstar Theater of the Riviera Hotel, where tonight Don King Productions, in association with the Riviera, presents the Blockbuster, a night of heavyweight championship boxing. These bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Bob Fremoyle, Chairman, Roy Tennyson, Executive Secretary. The judges assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for the first bout of the evening are Paul Smith, Jerry Roth, and Hal Miller. The timekeeper is Charlie Roth. Counting at the knockdowns, Al Bisick. The attending physicians at ringside, Doctors Donald Romeo and Flip Pomansky. And the referee for the first bout of the evening, Mr. Carlos Padilla. This is the opening bout of the night. 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of San Jose, California, weighing in at 211.5 pounds. He has a professional record of 10 wins, 6 defeats with 8 KOs. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, Irish Mike Jameson. And in the red corner, rated number 2 by the WBC, fighting out of Akron, Ohio. He weighed in at 226.75 pounds. His professional record consists of 26 wins, 1 defeat, 2 draws with 15 KOs. Introducing the former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Dynamite Dokes. 10 rounds of boxing.
So it's Michael Dokes versus Mike Jameson. Looking at Jameson's record, you would really have to think that he doesn't have much chance, but he does have 8 knockouts in his 10 victories. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape and see how these two match up. They are comparable of height, but Michael Dokes perhaps surprisingly coming in heavier than he ever has at 226.75, and that raised a lot of eyebrows around here, Ray.
Well, I think the big question really, Barry, is the fact that how has Michael Dokes adjusted from that big knockout?
Knockout, of course, at the hands of Jerry Coetzee. It was almost a year ago in Richfield, Ohio, and we're underway round 1. Jameson wants to touch gloves. Michael Dokes will have no power.
No holding. Break it up. Break it up. No holding.
Dokes a record of 26, 1 and 2 draws, and a little hitting on the break. As Dokes getting a little bit anxious. Carlos Padilla saying, when I say break, I mean break.
Normally when an undefeated fighter loses a fight, it plays a big role on his career because he becomes very tentative and very doubtful of his ability. I think here with Michael Dokes, he wants to be impressive because that was a dramatic knockout against Coetzee.
Remember, there was a time when people were saying Michael Dokes perhaps might be too small to be great. He comes in here at 226, and of course the layoff of nearly a year. You've been through that. It's not easy.
Well, quite naturally, inactivity hurts fighters, and in fact, I definitely experienced that. Michael, he's a little heavy. I think he would be more effective if he was a little lighter.
You have the feeling, too, that Dokes is going to try to do some business early here. That was a pretty good right hand by Michael Dokes. Jameson a little bit slow of foot and also a little bit slow of hand, so he does provide a pretty easy target for Dokes. This really will not, I believe, be a great test. The only question is the ability to come back of Michael Dokes.
This is a very good fight for Michael Dokes because he's in here with a fight like you stated earlier, where Jameson really doesn't impress me that much, except because, well, he impressed me as a fighter, but he doesn't have the tools to deal with a fighter of Michael Dokes' caliber. And speaking as far as inactivity, quite naturally, it bothers fighters with the time and the rhythm. It throws them off because you really have to get back into the ring and get to feel things all over again.
Dokes trying to go downstairs and soften up Jameson here in this first round, and doing so with moderate success. He's been low quite a few times. It's a pretty good box by Jameson, actually, but a return by Michael Dokes.
Dokes does not have the speed that he had earlier because, I mean, he's punching and it's more so, you see the punches come before telegraph. He stands upright, and Dokes has very fast hands, but again, the inactivity is definitely showing.
Michael Dokes has not only not had any fights, he hasn't been around the boxing ring in the last several months. That was another good left hand to Jameson. Dokes is in some trouble here.
Well, the left hook really did a number on Michael Dokes, and Jameson now, if he wants to impress anyone, this is a great opportunity for him.
He might have let Michael Dokes off there as we wind down toward the end of round number 1, and it's a very good round for Jameson, who might figure at this point this man can't hurt him.
Michael Dokes went into hiding for almost a year after losing to Coetzee, and it's obvious that he wasn't hiding in a gymnasium. It's about 15 pounds over his best fighting weight.
So the 102 probably already the rope.
Let's take a look now as Jameson, as he comes into Dokes, obviously not too concerned about him, and hits with that long left hand. Dokes is a little bit surprised. Good left jab also. Dokes obviously came out here looking to fight for about a round or a round and a half. Barry, if Jameson could keep Dokes out there for another 4 or 5 rounds, he might be really sucking wind, air, and oxygen and everything else.
That's exactly the point I was just thinking when they came out. Actually, I thought Dokes was a little bit winded at the end of the first round, right?
Well, Dokes appeared to be very tentative now. In fact, I guess he realized that Jameson can't punch because Jameson was able to hurt him in the first round.
By Dokes there.
You know, but another point is the fact when Michael Dokes punches, he stands straight up. So he's very susceptible for those left hooks and right hands that Jameson has been throwing. His punches, Dokes' punches are in slow motion to me.
And Dokes is breathing through his mouth just a little bit, which of course is always a sign of fatigue in a fighter. It's hard to believe that he's retired after less than a round and a half.
Watch for an overhand right by Jameson because Michael Dokes is now starting to drop that left hand. And he does not have the speed and time that he had earlier.
Jameson does have an effective jab. There was a right hand, but it came from Dokes, not Jameson. You really do have the feeling that Jameson at this point figures Michael Dokes is not going to hurt him.
Hand speed, and I really don't see that now. And that's because of the inactivity, and also when he gets knocked out cold, it really haunts you throughout his career. Very few fighters are able to come back from knockouts.
Both fighters actually showing a little bit of fatigue here in the second round. Jameson seems to be biding his time, looking for the one punch here.
What I would have expected Jameson to just take the fight to Dokes and try to get him out of there.
Dokes fighting completely flat-footed here, just obviously waiting for an opportunity. Missed that right hand. Got in with a right hook, and Jameson opens up with a right hand to his hand.
And the reason Dokes is being hit once again, Barry, is because he's standing straight up. He throws a few combinations, and they're not really clean shots, and he stands straight up.
Jameson, right hand to the head and an uppercut to the face of Michael Dokes. Jameson provides no history. That was a good right hand by Dokes. It hurt Jameson. He backs up against the ropes. Takes another right hand from Dokes. Still coming out. Takes another good right hand. Three good punches by Michael Dokes. But he takes a good return from Jameson.
Let's go to Jameson's corner here. He's acquitted himself quite well. Dokes is not a power puncher, and he's trying to fight like a power puncher.
Our second fighter of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, representing the South Pole Show,
Let's take a look at that flurry towards the end of the round. A good long right hand by Dokes. Looking for that seems to have trouble, but Jameson comes right back at him, which indicates
Work the body, yeah?
Dokes just doesn't
You know how to
have
work the body?
strength
Go to the body.
Mike, you right? You got the head down there, pick his ass up with the right uppercut, the left hook. Every time you hit him, you hit. Don't be conservative now. Let him work, okay?
No sense of opportunity here.
Jameson up off his stool with about 15 seconds to go between rounds, obviously showing that he still has something left in the tank. We'll see. His corner telling him, don't hurt him. Jameson doesn't really look like a fighter. He's sort of like a college student or a puppy basketball player.
He reminds me a lot of Jerry Cooler. He's a big man, and he has pretty good punching power.
He's been right in his face the whole fight.
He's been through a lot of damage to him. He's left him. He's not used to shooting.
One jab just to sort of keep Dokes off there, but he doesn't. He seems to use it as an offensive weapon.
It's really tough coming back after a long run premature retirement like I was. It takes so much to get back in shape and to get your mind geared to the fight. And I think that Dokes is going to sign off.
Trying to go downstairs, and it does seem to be having some effect on Jameson.
Until Dokes throws a few punches, and then Jameson retaliates with either left hook or body shot.
And another combination. Jameson obviously feels he has his man here. Dokes trying to fight off the ropes.
You notice Jameson just waited for Dokes to throw a few punches. Then he comes back very strong. Now, Dokes is a little hurt now. He's still somewhat stunned. Jameson, great opportunity now. He should take advantage of it.
Again, Harkin after in his corner trying to take the time. I think it's obvious that Dokes is a tired fighter right now. Questionable as to how tired Jameson is as well. He may just run him in the later rounds.
He's still somewhat stunned. And there seems to be a trickling blood in the bridge of his nose. Dokes knows.
Combination of tired and hurt. There is blood from either alongside the eye or on the side of his nose, at the bridge of his nose.
The right hand by Jameson would be great at this point. Again, the left hand of Mike Jameson starting to drop.
Michael Dokes could be in some deep trouble right now.
You're not doing that 1-2, baby. You can get him on them ropes. Look at this fight. Hey, some deep ones. Come on. Come on. Here.
Let's take a look at that shot on the ropes. Jameson is cautiously going after Dokes. Look at him back in there. Beautiful left hook. Here is where Jameson's inexperience showed. He really had Dokes dazed after that. And Dokes was able to fake him out. Dokes was able to convince him that he wasn't that hurt. This was the time for Jameson to throw caution away and go after his man and take the opportunity for a shocking upset.
Don't leave your corner.
This is the fourth round. Michael Dokes seems to be in a fog.
Okay, bring it up.
Caught mostly on the gloves.
No,
Jameson.
holding. Step back,
Dokes is
step back.
now
Don't hold
starting to
it.
hit with the open part of the glove, which proves that he's not really concentrating on what he's doing.
Jameson continues to cover shoulder up when Dokes does throw punches and combinations come out of him to get strong left hook.
I really can relate to what Dokes is going through now. Because what's happening, again, with the open part of left, it's not punching with power. It's not what he's doing. Everything is basically instinctively. That's what he's doing. I think he's there in body, but not in spirit, in mind.
But his instincts, I don't think it's a fair comparison to make to you, because his instincts are much, much slower than I saw your instincts.
I've never seen Dokes punch so slowly.
It's almost as if he's saying, here it comes. And Jameson, even though he's not exactly quick, you've seen it come. He's just not getting all of it.
Also, the fact that the way Dokes is executing his punches, the way he throws his punches out, he's pushing his punches. There's no stop to his punches like you can just see what to know whether they're declining.
Okay, step.
Dokes has been quite good at the whole fight. His forte really had been the fact that he wasn't quick. Just to show him
You see Michael Dokes on his toes, moving. His opponents with speed, power. Here, I see a flash for the Michael Dokes. Not really powerful like he used to be.
throw that right hand.
Well, the most effective punch that has been thrown by Jameson has been the left hook.
No scoring on some punches in this round. By and large, ineffective punches. Another good left hook. Jameson is actually saying, here it comes.
Jameson is in the position of a low-ranked tennis player who beats a highly ranked tennis player in the first set. You can scarcely believe what he's done. And he's going to make a decision on whether he wants to go for the victory and really extend himself and take the chance. He's got it.
Damn good. I want you to throw more punches this round. You gotta win this round. Hey, Mike, this is the 6th round.
5.
Is it the 5th? Okay. You're all right, Mike. The win is standing.
Smother his, smother his stuff. Smother it.
When you get inside, you go on this guy. Don't wait on him. Don't waste no punches. Waste no punches. You finish your combination. Don't relax in front of this guy. You gotta step to the side.
Smother his hands. Smother him. Don't sleep late back there and let him get the hand.
Fifth round, and Jameson is still there.
Hold it. Break it up.
Getting advice from his corner, getting inside, going to punch on him.
Okay, hold it. Break it up.
Once again, every time Dokes explodes into the Jameson.
That's her head.
Jameson just kind of backs up, so he's never really getting the brunt of the punches.
Well, the inexperience is definitely showing Jameson because, as I stated earlier, he had opportunity. They did take advantage of him, and he had Dokes stunned for a while. He let him off the hook. Normally, when a fight is hurt, you take advantage by staying on the field, working the fighter, and then going to the head when you have the opportunity. It's evident that the punching power of Michael Dokes is not there. He's hit Jameson with some very good right hand. Flush on the chin. Jameson just stands there.
was some interesting byplay in Jameson's corner during the last minute. His corner told him this is round 6, and Jameson had to say, no, this is round 5. So I don't know if this is this is this fight very slow.
Well, I think for Michael Dokes, I think what he's doing now, as he's trying to do, is work the body. Jameson appears to be a little heavy around the midsection. And Dokes should be working downstairs.
Just kept his glove open and offered Jameson a chance to hit his glove. Jameson took Paige back on.
What's happening is, the fact that Smith's right here is not really getting because he's blocking. He's riding back.
What's your low blow?
Lawrence Padilla once more warns Dokes for low blows. He's had to do so.
Right now, Michael Dokes is compensating for his lack of condition and even his lack of spirit with just some professionalism. He's trying to eke out a decision in this fight.
So this is a what?
Fuck his titties. Get close to him. All right. Take some deep breaths. Come on. Take a deep breath. There you go. Do another one. You better get out of the way. I'm telling you. I know you're too cute. Here. As soon as you start to throw something, fall in on it.
Lean on him and punch him in. And look at his eyes. Look at his frame. Don't do this bullshit. Was that turn, man? Yes. Good, kid. This is the time.
Stay to the corner. Stay to the corner. Stay to the corner.
Easy conversation going on in Jameson's corner and strategy session going on in Dokes' corner.
Hold it. Bring it up. Bring it up. No holding. Bring it up.
I said it in an analogous way, was saying get in close.
Well, Dokes has been trying to get close to Jameson, but every time he tends to get inside, Jameson gets from that hook.
Jameson still seems to have a little sting. He looked pretty tired the last round. He seemed to be very calm in his corner. First couple of jabs he's thrown. This seems to be effective. But it was caught mostly on the gloves.
Jameson's really making a big mistake. He's letting this fight get away from him. He's moving back, he's not aggressive, although he has landed the most effective punches, but he's not doing the proper thing. And that is to take the fight to the ring.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Jameson apologizes, says, I'm sorry. He had a bad shot, so he's got a pretty good backhand. Maybe in the wrong sport. Garcia, of course, did a little of that with Michael Dokes as well. And it worked for Garcia. It worked for Jameson, but I do agree he needs to be more aggressive and he has to start taking guys at Dokes. Dokes a good right hand.
Look at also the fact that the amount of punches that were being scored by Michael Dokes. Okay, Jameson has hurt Dokes a number of times, but he's been doing 1, 2, 3 punch combinations, whereas Dokes has been putting together a few more punches.
Okay, bring it up. Step up.
Left hand on his thigh. Obviously thinking at this point Harry's doing it again. Just fighting the right hand from Jameson.
Well, Jameson doesn't have that much of a right hand. His left hook is his best punch. The reason you notice he raises up that right foot, it takes the leverage off his right hand.
Bring it up. Let loose.
Took the right hand from Jameson.
That was a good right hand for Jameson. He kept that right foot headed flat to the canvas.
Okay, hold it. Put it up.
Dokes started bothering Jameson.
Put it up.
He was doing a job with the body shots.
Pick it up. Put your punches up.
Been going to the body with some consistency. Jameson does seem to be winded at this.
Well, those body shots are doing a job.
Tired Dokes angles back to his corner. The body shots did slow down his opponent in that round. He's just trying to win one round at a time, Dokes. Just trying to get out of here.
Come on, put it together. Number 7.
Beautiful, baby. Doing beautiful out there. You got to boy, watch them shots. Smother him, suck his titty when he starts to throw a punch.
There you saw the exchange of right hands midway through the round. Dokes was high on the head.
Yeah, well, okay.
Jameson's
Try to
was
get
a
away
cleaner
from him.
punch.
Don't pull on him.
Combination on the inside and still stepping back on this guy. Step right.
That's right. And
Don't
pivot
sit out on
his
this
thing.
guy.
There you go. Here, once more. Come on. Boy.
Step around him, man.
Maybe we'll put some more face on it.
You can tell how concerned they are in the corner, Barry. All those voices, all that advice coming in.
Advice, of course, that Ray, you've said on numerous occasions, the fighter never hears or he doesn't pay much attention to,
Especially in the late rounds.
So Mike Jameson, Gary's going to win the fight, even though he's going to very well here. He's going to have to start taking it.
Bring it up. Step
Not
up.
the more frequent puncher.
What Dokes is trying to do is trying to use his experience against Jameson. He's trying to get closer, even though he's still not jab in the body. And what he's trying to do is bring Jameson's hands down so he can hit him with the right hand. Jameson keeps that left hand very high.
Okay. Break it up. Step up. No holding.
Jameson's going to have to suck it up from someplace. He's had his way
No holding.
You see how effective Jameson's
No holding.
is.
Break it up.
His head back. But he has to use it more often.
Look at a guy like Mike Jameson who say, if he had different hands, if he had been a different come along a different way, you never can tell because he does seem to have the inherent skills of a good heavyweight, and that is solid punching and a good jab.
Well, you have to polish it up by the head. And what Jameson has is a very good left hook and good height and reach advantage. You just have to make him compensate for what he doesn't have. But you definitely have to make a fight like Jameson more aggressive.
Comes in with a record of 10-6, as we mentioned earlier, 8 of his 10 victories come by way of knockout.
He's walking back. Jameson walks back, and there's not too much you can do with the big guy's footwork. Unless he's like a Michael Dokes or like a Muhammad Ali or Larry Holmes.
Dokes are 226, unlike handcuff Jameson on the chin. Again, he does not seem to be hurt by Dokes' punches. Perhaps the cumulative effect.
This is a good fight for Michael Dokes in the sense that he's going to tell him where he is, and he's going to have to make a decision whether he wants to be force in the heavyweight division anymore.
Lean back against that.
Because what he's doing here tonight is not being a force, being a negative force.
Following, baby. problem. You're doing all right, man. You're holding up beautiful, beautiful. Don't pull out on this sucker. You're doing good. This is why last round you did beautiful. You didn't pull out at all on it. If you get in there, keep that left hand from sliding in on it. That's why you won't tie you up. You try to pivot. As soon as you hit in the pivot around and throw that left foot in the body. Huh? All right.
Don't waste no punches now, Mike. You can't afford to waste no punches, okay? You step around on this guy.
Well, Mike, he ain't got nothing. He can't cook it. He ain't got shit this now. He's finished, buddy. He's finished, Mike. He's finished.
Larry, that's what you call advice.
Don't leave your corner.
I'll tell you what, both fighters are named Mike. Makes it a little bit tough to see who's saying what to who. Jameson just keeps getting closer and closer. This really does not seem to be hurting Jameson here. In fact, neither man seems to be hurting. That has much to do with it. Dokes is really good at everything. He's very tired until the second set in. The jab of Jameson is effective, but it only comes one at a time. Watch the left jab. When Michael Dokes throws his left jab, it just falls. Another sign of fatigue. It's a very discouraging thing for a fighter after coming back from the layoff to get things back to the way they used to be. Because what Dokes is dealing with now, it's not just Jameson, but himself. He has two opponents. And one just seconds the other. You see Michael, he's just falling in, Michael Dokes rather, he's just falling in with his punches now. Jameson just doesn't seem to want to take what Michael Dokes is offering. I don't understand what they're telling Jameson in his corner. He should be instructed to be more aggressive. He's taking Michael Dokes' best.
Okay, very good.
He feels very confident just to move away. Again, Michael Dokes has never done that before. He's got right foot opportunities. Fighters, really great fighters, how did Michael Dokes to get this type of performance? All you have to give is the fact he's really trying.
Put it up.
It's just not good. Well, you got to allow for the fact that there has been a layout. But still don't think you can make an excuse for this performance. I have Michael Dokes winning so far. Jameson to me looks the stronger of the two. Michael Dokes should go back down to that body because it made a difference in the fight. Both fighters are extremely tired. We'll find out here whether
Mike, I need you to
anything more than Mike Jameson.
I need you, baby. Come on, I need this win, Mike.
The end of
it's
the
too
road.
close. It's too easy.
After all,
you don't get no chance like this.
Because you hear me, Mike.
This is a chance of a lifetime. This is it, Mike. This is it, baby. No, you ain't retired, Mike. You don't have to work again in your life. To put everything on the line, Mike. You don't have to work again all your life. Man, you win this. Mike. He ain't got nothing for you. I'm not gonna let you go, Mike. Come on. Do it, baby. Do it. Do it.
Here's that flurry right out of the bell in this round, and there was very little damage from Dokes, and he just seemed to spend himself for the rest of the round because he didn't put out much of an effort after that.
He's waiting for one or two shots. That's why he's laying up there waiting for it.
Okay. Well, we'll see now what Mike Jameson has. This corner just said you don't have to work anymore the rest of your life. Now that may be a bit overstated, but
Watch for Jameson to retaliate with the left hook. He lets Michael Dokes throw his punches, get his combination off, and he comes back. Hopes to land one big punch. You have to hold. You stand in front of your man and just move up and down. Hold. Whereas normally you'd be throwing punches. He's really tired. Still some snap in the jab of Jameson, but once again, he just does not double up. I think if Dokes is able to hurt Jameson, he's still different Michael Dokes. He get a burst of energy from somewhere. He's keeping the left hand down. But again, I don't think he's concerned because Jameson does not have a strong right hand. So he's not afraid of being countered. Nevertheless, a bell to get into the shooting. Well, Dokes made that same mistake with Costillo. And Costillo has that potent right hand. But again, Barry, you know, Dokes, his accuracy, his speed, he's so elusive, really is in great shape. His layoff and the knockout has really affected him a great deal. But he's young enough to come back. It's hard continuing to yell at him, don't wait.
Okay, break it up. Step up. Hold it. Break it up. Hold it.
One thing about Jameson, no expression, no facial expression whatsoever.
Last round.
Both fighters now seem to be resigned to going the distance.
Well, you're getting a good workout. You're getting a good one, and you're holding them beautiful.
Put your head down.
Yeah, put that ice bag too.
Put your head down.
Last round.
Okay.
This is the last one.
Thank God. All right. Put your head down.
Don't speak. That's the only thing we're scared of.
Folks, the last round. Bring up and left on. Sit in the lane. Let's see him. No more rounds, Mike.
It's the end of it now.
Don't get careless when you start throwing the combinations. That's what
Let's cruise out. What y'all think?
Huh?
Let's cruise on.
Cruise out. Don't rush.
1-2.
Take your shots as they come.
See him there. 1-2, feigning. Take his head.
Don't worry. God damn it, let's go. Come on, Mike. Do it.
3 seconds. This is the last one. Okay.
All that needs to be said has been said in the corners of this man. Coming into this last 3 minutes. Dokes on his toes. Jameson trying to punch. Step in and send back down. I think Michael Dokes thought he was going to break him up, and he didn't. Reserve himself. see the combinations.
Step up.
2 years ago, the combination was definitely landed.
Break it up. Hold it.
Just trying to stay in
Don't throw
close.
punches.
To stay out of harm's way at this point.
I don't see why Jameson's not working. I mean, this is the last round, and again, I have questions about his corner.
Okay, break it up.
These are two top fighters. Now they do anything to get a little rest, whether it's a second or whether or not it's 3 seconds.
Well, he's got 25 ticks left.
Break it up. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Jerry Ross scores 98-92. Judge Paul Smith scores 99-91. And Judge Hal Miller scores 98-92 for the winner. By unanimous decision, Michael Dynamite Dokes.
Some of the best talent in the heavyweight division has made its way to the home of World Championship Boxing, Las Vegas, Nevada. First, out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the reigning WBC heavyweight champion, Tim Witherspoon, defends his crown for the first time since his less-than-spectacular decision over Greg Paige. The unknown champion would love to earn the respect of the boxing world. His opponent was born and raised in Pontiac, Michigan. The only blemish on the undefeated record of Pinklon Thomas was a hard-fought draw with WBA heavyweight champion Jerry Coetzee. Tonight, Thomas can write the final triumphant chapter in a hard-luck story of survival. But before the WBC title fight, the saga continues for the much-maligned heavyweight from Louisville, Greg Paige. Now he tries to regain his old form as a legitimate contender. They may question Paige's waistline, not his skills. His opponent is yet another outstanding prospect out of boxing's hotbed of talent, Philadelphia. David Bay is an undefeated contender with the biggest opportunity of his young career. A win over Paige would certainly signal a rising star. Tonight in Las Vegas, the dormant heavyweight division comes to life on HBO. First, Greg Paige and David Bay fight for the USBA heavyweight title, and then Tim Witherspoon defends his WBC crown against Pinklon Thomas. Once again, we have migrated to the hot desert sun. We're live from the Riviera Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing. First, Greg Paige defends his USBA heavyweight title against an up-and-coming contender, David Bay. Then, time permitting, we'll show you highlights of former WBA heavyweight champion Michael Dokes' comeback fight against Mike Jameson. And finally, in the main event, WBC heavyweight champion Tim Witherspoon defends his crown against the highly touted Pinklon Thomas. Many feel these heavyweights possess the best raw talent in this most celebrated of all divisions. And tonight, this converted convention center is the site as we all witness who among these boxing giants will reach their full potential and ability. Hello, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins. Welcome to the Riviera in Las Vegas. These people coming to watch a whole lot of boxing, 70 rounds to be exact. With me once again, the champ, Sugar Ray Leonard. Ray, interesting, 70 rounds of boxing, mostly heavyweights, and I think this is the first time that I can remember in the years that you and I have worked together where there really is a question as to who is going to win every fight.
Well, this is a great card, Barry. In fact, we should see a lot of action and possibly a couple of upsets. And what we have tonight is really champions and former champions searching for a little bit more recognition. And a good win tonight will definitely help them out. On the other hand, we have challengers who are searching for one thing, and that is a title.
Well, there's no question about that. We're going to have title fights, and we're going to see just about everybody who is anybody amongst the up-and-comers in the heavyweight division. With us for expert commentary once more, as he always is, Larry Merchant. And Larry, the heavyweight picture, it seems, has always been muddled, but this time it's not only muddled, it seems big and muddled.
Well, anytime you have three champions, Barry, it really means that you don't have any. Larry Holmes is a great champion, fought everybody, beat everybody, but he started to lose credibility when he stopped fighting credible opponents. Jerry Coetzee won the invisible part of the heavyweight title and proceeded to make it more invisible by not defending it. I believe that these two fighters tonight, Thomas and Witherspoon, are the best young heavyweights around, that the winner will emerge in about a year as the heavyweight.
All right, before we talk about Thomas and Witherspoon, let's start at the top. And the top in this case, Greg Paige and David Bay. Now, Greg Paige is a guy who, it seems, has been on the threshold his entire career. Once more, he is in a very familiar role. The role, as he always has been, the bridesmaid. This is Greg Paige, a young heavyweight whose career has been plagued with a series of ups and downs.
He's probably the most all-round talented fighter out there, but he's his own worst enemy.
Greg Paige weighs in.
As a fighter, he's battled more than just his opponents in the ring. He's had an ongoing bout with a weight problem and the attitude that the world is against him.
This is my retirement, man. I'm through with it, because I've been going through hell my whole damn career. I'm through with this bullshit.
He began his pro career as a new face, promising to become the next Muhammad Ali.
He has shown speed, quickness, courage, punching power, and the ability to take a punch. He moves with the rhythm of a natural boxer. There is still some polishing to be done.
The young heavyweight took his talent to the ring and began to fight. He suffered some disappointment. There was this 10-round loss to Trevor Berbick. But he seemed to get back on the track, etching out a record of 23-1 with 18 knockouts. But all along, experts questioned his desire.
He wants to be a champion, but doesn't want to work for it. In the Witherspoon fight, he didn't fight enough. He laid against the ropes and took too many punches.
Following a poor showing against Tim Witherspoon in front of a booing Las Vegas crowd, the boxing world asked what would become of Greg Paige.
WBC heavyweight champion of the world, terrible Tim Witherspoon.
Fighters go through trials and tribulations. He's got a lot of talent, and I feel this kid is to be reckoned with. The annals of Greg Paige are not closed.
After the loss to Tim Witherspoon, you stated that you felt that the number of punches was more important than how hard the punches landed were. Have you changed your mind about that?
Well, it's one thing I want to do, and I want to get this out. I want to apologize for that little tantrum I had that night. You know, I was a little upset about a couple of things because there were some things that were said and the way the whole thing was handled, it wasn't right, it wasn't professional. And I knew I didn't fight properly, I knew I didn't train correctly, and I know I didn't do a lot of things I wasn't supposed to do. And I said I was going to retire, I said I was going to do a whole lot of different things. But now I'm back, I never went anywhere. I train real hard, I work real hard, I work diligently, and I've done everything Jenks had me to do. And, you know, there's nothing else no one can ask for me. I have done everything.
Thank you. Tonight, Greg Paige faces a relative unknown, David Bay.
The fact that he stopped George Chaplin, one of the best defensive boxers in the division, is probably the single most impressive thing about David Bay.
George Chaplin went 10 rounds with Greg Paige and lost the decision. But in his fight against David Bay, the judges never reached a decision. After 4 rounds, the referee jumped in and said, no more.
Among a sparse heavyweight division, David Bay is one of the few legitimate contenders. He's a good boxer and very agile for a big man.
On the undercard of Paige Witherspoon, Bay won an impressive decision over Leroy Caldwell. Tonight, David Bay and Greg Paige battle for recognition in a division that's wide open.
Are you saying you think your discipline is what will win for you in the end?
Yes, because Gregory Paige, he's been around for a while. He's probably tired now. You know, going to work, that's like you're going to work, get used to it. He can do it even easier now. The best way to do your work, ask a lazy man. He know how to get things done right because he's a lazy person, you know what I mean? And I feel though he's lazy, he train, but he's taking it easily. You know, because the training do hurt. I mean, you have to work it. Cause I run like 6 miles anymore. I run the mess out of my running partners like Randy Fleming, Al Stiles. Them guys, they can't keep up with me. I mean, they really can't. I run 6 miles, I do like 6-minute miles, 5 miles. I'm a good runner. I got good stamina. People don't think I have the stamina, but I got plenty of stamina. If it goes 12 rounds, they will see it. Paige won't be able to keep up with me.
All right, let me ask you, Red Leonard, does he have the stamina? He's a guy who historically has done his best in the early rounds.
Well, Barry, it's not a physical, but it's a psychological obstacle. And if Bay can block it out and he's in great shape, he'll be just fine.
So he's going to have to get out there and go do it quickly. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this one between David Bay and Greg Paige. And there it is. And they are very comparable. Now, one thing of note, I think, is that Paige came in at 233. And that is one of the lighter weights that he's come in at. He was 221 when he lost to Trevor Berbick. Didn't want to be quite that light. 224 for Bay. Common opponent, only George Chaplin, and Paige had a much tougher time with him than did David Bay, who knocked his man out in 4 rounds. So that's the only common opponent. Little to choose between the two of them. Youth really pretty much on the side of either man. 25 years old for Greg Paige, 27 years old for David Bay. They're both on the threshold, as we mentioned. A win tonight, of course, would catapult either man very much into the title picture. David Bay, undefeated in 13 fights, not very much experience, 11 knockouts. He was once 290 pounds, believe it or not. Greg Paige on the other side of the coin, 23 victories. He has just 2 defeats. He has 18 knockouts in those 25 fights. So that's the story of this one. And now let's get to Chuck Hull, the ring announcer, for the official announcement.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Superstar Theater of the Riviera Hotel, where tonight Don King Productions, in association with the Riviera, presents the Blockbuster, a night of heavyweight championship boxing. These bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Bob Fremoyle, Chairman, Roy Tennyson, Executive Secretary. The officials assigned for the next contest of the evening by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The judges are Dave Moretti, Lou Tabbitt, and Chuck Minker. The timekeeper is Jane Broadfoot. Counting at the knockdown, Mike Lachella, and the referee is Joey Curtis. This is a featured event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the USBA Heavyweight Championship. Introducing, in the blue corner, the challenger, rated number 6 by the WBC, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 224 1/2 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 13 wins, no defeats, and 11 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing David Bay. And in the red corner, from Louisville, Kentucky, he weighed in at 233 pounds. His professional record consists of 23 wins, 2 defeats with 18 KOs. He's rated number 1 by the WBC in the world. Introducing the USBA Heavyweight Champion, Greg Paige.
I didn't I gave you instructions in the dressing room. Remember, in case of a knockdown, I want you to go into the neutral corner. I want you to stay there till I tell you to come out. Watch your low blows. Watch your heads. When I tap you on the back, just break clean. Understand? If you got one hand free, you can keep on banging away. Okay? Shake hands. Let's have a good fight. Come on, that's it.
Larry Merchant, a couple of notes before we get started here. Greg Paige comes in, mom and dad on his trunks. He looks very fit, much more so than the last time we saw him. And the other point we just touched upon, David Bay at one time was 290 pounds.
Yeah, we saw him as an amateur at 270. He was a terrific amateur, but he knew he had to lose a lot of weight, and he's lost over 50 pounds in order to be able to fight good pros at a professional tempo for 10 or more rounds. He's very determined, very disciplined, as the loss of weight shows. The kind of things that have been absent from Greg Paige up to now.
It was a good right hand by Greg Paige as Bay tried to be the aggressor, and Paige caught him on the way in.
Jakes Morton is very high on the trainer of Greg Paige, very high on Greg Paige. He feels that Paige now has his mind together, and he will be more effective now in his career.
If anybody knows Jakes Morton, you do. Of course, he was in your corner, Ray, for all those years. In fact, I was going to say, Greg Paige does look much more fit tonight, but he was still the second most fit guy in his corner. Jakes Morton, at 42 years old, looks great.
But James has claimed to taken a lot of weight off Paige, and also to have given him more balance. You know, normally when Paige punches, he's on his toes, he's falling away, which takes away a lot of power.
Paige is up on his toes early here in the first round. He looks pretty sharp early on here. Seems to have Bay a little bit befuddled right at the moment.
Let's get out. Nice, easy. Stop hitting and break. That's it.
Well, the movement of Greg Paige will really do a number on David Bay. I don't think David Bay will be able to cope with the movement, the fluid movement, lateral movement, side to side, and the consistency of his punches.
This fight scheduled for 12 rounds.
Nice and easy. Hold. Easy, easy.
This is what Paige can't do. He can't stand directly in front of David Bay, which will give him momentum. And I think what Bay wants Paige to do is to get against the ropes so he can utilize his strength.
Bay is a bomber. Telegraphed right hand there by Bay.
What Bay needs to do, Barris, he needs to work the body of Paige, slow him down, and then try to make Paige fight his fight.
Bay with his best punch of the fight a moment ago takes the right hand from Paige. And Bay was staggered by that right hand. Paige follows up. Paige looks like a hungry fighter tonight, Ray.
Well, he wants to show the people that this is a new Greg Paige.
Left hand by Bay.
I just don't like when Paige stands directly in front of Bay because he's capable of being hit by some of those punches.
Let's get out of here. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Let's go.
Paige's problem is that he never had progressed from his days as a great amateur. The fact that he's finally brought Jakes Morton, a real professional, into his corner suggests that he was really shocked by the loss to Witherspoon and that it knocked some of the cockiness out of him.
Then work up off your jab. You work it off your jab, you got to stop. Get the grease. Give me some grease. Now. Okay. Now, work it off your jab, you work up to your punch. All right? Now, when you hurt him, push him away from you. Don't you stand there and go there.
Come on. He is pressing you because you're giving him room, because he jumped on you. No respect. Crowd him just like we've been doing in the gym. You understand what I'm saying? Busy, busy, busy. After the right hand, come back with the left hook, roll, bob, weave, pressure. You got what I'm saying? I don't want nothing. And move that head, okay? How you feel? Good. Okay, take a deep breath up.
Bay was a little stunned by Paige's speed early in the round, and he backed off and tried to box with him, which is the exact wrong thing to do, as his trainer indicated.
Ray, you were nodding your head in agreement with what was going on in David Bay's corner.
Well, Bay was instructed to pressure his man, and he needs to. The left hook temporarily stunned Greg Paige.
That was a good punch by Bay. A left hook came up from around the hip. And Paige bounces off the ropes with a two-punch combination.
One thing about David Bay, he's a very good puncher. So what Paige doesn't want to do is exchange punch for punch. He needs to continue to move side to side. And if he's going to stand in front of his man, give him angles.
Paige looking very effective so far through the first round and a half. Another good left hand. Let's go again. Paige is really mixing his style up a lot more than I've seen him do in the past, too. He seems to, in the past at least, have been content to stay with a jab, get on his toes, and he's throwing a lot more combinations. He's bringing his punches from a lot more angles.
Well, James wants to get more leverage behind the punches of Greg Paige. Once in a while, get flat-footed and not be on his toes while he's throwing his punches because he's taking away the power of it. Now, see, this is what Bay wants to do. Inside, work that body, slow his man down. A mistake there that Paige is making. See, he's moving in one direction. He's not giving lateral movement. So he's giving Bay an opportunity to cut the ring off.
Good combination, the right and then a left behind it.
And you see what's happening. Once again, Paige is just moving to his left. He should be moving both ways. For a second there, we had a jabbing contest, and Paige should have come out on top because I feel he has one of the best jabs other than Larry Holmes in the business, heavyweight division.
That was a wild right hand, and he took a right hand from Paige in return, did David Bay.
Nice and easy on the break. Let's get out of there. Let's go again.
That was a much better round for David Bay. And there is Tim Witherspoon in his dressing room. About 45 minutes away from defending his title.
You can't hit every time. All right, let's put the jab down, tap, look there, and then throw your right hand. You ain't doing it. All right, you ain't doing it. There's no ropes. No ropes. I don't want some ropes. There we go. Come on, you got to work on the rope. Just wipe his face. Pick up towel. Lightly. Okay, you all right? You're in good shape. Stay right there. You stay right there.
One thing that is noticeable is that David Bay is throwing punches with what Customato used to call the meaner intentions. He's really trying to hurt Paige.
This is the third round of what has been a tactical fight so far. Well-fought fight, in fact, in both corners.
Well, James Ward instructed Paige. He doesn't want him against the ropes because what happens, Bay works that body. He wants Paige to stay in the center of the ring.
Three-punch combination by David Bay. Came with a right-hand lead, and it caught Paige by surprise.
And you know the reason Paige is being hit, Barry, because he's standing in front of his man. And again, I don't think Paige should be in a punch-for-punch situation with David Bay.
Combination by Paige. And another combination, and that backed Bay up.
It's difficult to see whether or not David Bay is hurt at all because he doesn't change expressions.
Let's go.
I'm really impressed with the fact that Bay lost so much weight and is still so physically strong. because normally to shed that many pounds, bro, it takes a lot from a fighter.
Let's go.
Both fighters being patient here.
Paige needs to snap that left jab, because what's going to happen, a counter right hand by David Bay.
That, of course, is what Jenks Morton was saying in the corner. Paige said, I'm doing it. Jenks said, you're not doing it.
Well, Paige is starting to float that left jab out, and it's so, you become so susceptible to a right hand.
Let's go again.
You notice that left hand of Paige again, bro. He lays it out there just too long.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Watch out. Let's go again.
15 seconds remaining here in the third round. This one had been kind of a quiet round for both men. There's a left hand.
He tried the counter.
Stop holding with that hand.
How you feel? How you feel? Okay. Now, when you're close, swallow it. When you're close, right here, Buzzer. I want ripping at that body. Don't just loaf at his body.
Now let's take a look at Greg Page's best moment in that round. It was a sort of short arm right hand. Didn't really hurt Bay. And there is Jerry Coetzee here at ringside, the WBA champion. Looking to see if there are any prospective future challenges here. David Bay is a hungry fighter, and Paige is going to have to beat that hunger out of him.
So Paige comes out on his toes once more. Paige, incidentally, on his robe when he came into the ring, it said, turn the page, which means, of course, it's something new time and a change in style. Management change. Great body punch.
I mean, that was a big shot. David Bay landed a very good right hand to the body of Greg Paige.
Which is exactly what Bobby Lewis had told him to do in the corner. He said, don't pussyfoot it, just hit it. David Bay seems to have a good ability to be able to open his man up.
Well, he has a very unorthodox style and pretty good defense. David Bay has, and he takes advantage of his power and those big shoulders that he has. He gets inside and he works the body very well.
That was a good left to the head by Bay, and he came back with a left hand behind it, and he's got Paige in the corner.
Paige does not want to be there. In fact, in the corner, David Bay has a great opportunity to really do a number on Greg Paige. You know what's happening, though, is the fact that every so often, Paige glances into his corner to see what Jenks Morton has to say. And it's starting to break his concentration.
Paige having what might be, or rather Bay having what might be his best round so far.
Well, another mistake that he's making, Greg Paige, he's moving and then he stops and gets in the corner, which is a bad mistake. And could prove to be a costly one.
Well, again, a couple of rounds ago, Jenks Morton said, get off the ropes.
And Greg Paige is standing directly up. So Bay can throw those wide punches and land. Those body shots to the body, they take their toll in the later round.
Very punishing, and Bay has had 4 or 5 good body shots in this round.
He's going to the body. Bay's going to the body, and watch for a shot by Bay to the head.
Let's get out of it. Let's go again.
In fact, you can really see Bay's confidence grow in this round.
Nice and easy, nice and easy. Okay.
David Bay punches are, you know, looping punches, but they are so effective. This shouldn't happen, Barry. I mean, Bay is beating Paige to the punch with the left jab. You're talking about discouragement. It happens then.
That was a good right-handed back Paige into a corner once more. Excellent round, Larry, for David Bay, and he seems to be doing the boxing equivalent of taking what's given to him.
Well, he's forcing the issue, and the guy who forces the issue puts the other guy on the defensive so that he's a little confused now. Paige is trying to make some changes in mid-career, and he's really trying hard, but it's not working, and so all that can lead to is to some confusion.
You got me to breach the house, got on? No.
You understand what I'm saying? I need the jab working all the time. Whop, whop, and don't hesitate, but don't straighten up. Now, when you catch his left hook over here, you know how we set up and you catch the left hook? Turn your left hook, pop, pop. Soon as you pop, pop, right there, and on the road.
Pinklon Thomas watching the fight, even as you and I and us, seems to have his mind a little bit elsewhere, right?
Seems very content to me.
So Bobby Lewis telling David Bay to keep it up with the jab, be more consistent with the jabs, and perhaps flick it out a little bit more. He was successful in the last round listening to Bobby Lewis and going to the body.
Well, Bobby instructed David Bay to counter that left hook of Greg Paige by blocking with his right and counter with his left hook, his own left hook. He had an opportunity right there.
All those punches of Greg Paige were caught on the gloves of David Bay. Paige mocking Bay that time, but those punches are scoring. And a good shot to the body and a left hand to the head.
Paige is making a big mistake again, but he's standing straight up. Watch for the left hook to catch it.
Another good shot to the body by David Bay, and every time he gets Greg Paige on a road, he digs first to the body.
It appeared to me that Greg was stunned by one of those punches. And now his hands is dropped. It's a bad mistake. He's in the corner. Two bad mistakes.
And that's exactly the way he fought and lost to Tim Witherspoon, with his back to the ropes.
Let's get out. Let's get out. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. No, nothing to break. Let's go again.
Now you'll notice Greg was stopping the corner. And David Bay will work the body.
Let's get out. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
David Bay losing his mouthpiece there, so he'll have to guts it out for the last half of this round without it.
Now let's get out of it. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. No breaks. Okay?
Greg Paige's mouth is wide open, and that's somewhat of an indication that fatigue has set in.
Yeah, I think you were right. I think when he was mocking Greg Paige, I'm not sure at all, but that he wasn't stunned by it. I'm not sure he's still not feeling the effects of it. That was a good quick right hand by Paige there.
Paige has some very bad amateur habits. I mean, he stands in front of his man, he drops his hand, he turns away, he walks away. Those are a few changes that must be made. For a boxer to be effective, and while he's moving, he needs to be doing something. He needs to be throwing punches, because all that movement will not win a fight.
Once again, Paige lunging with that jab, and it's being caught on the gloves of David Bay.
That was a better round for Greg Paige.
Oh, yeah.
David Bay sort of let him
in my hand.
off the hook a little bit there, I thought.
Right? Now, listen.
Bay had him on the run
listen to me closely, right?
earlier.
What you're doing, you're letting this guy take the play. You're letting this guy take the play by not getting inside and being busy. You're standing outside giving this guy too much respect. Damn the respect to this guy. You understand what I'm saying? When you're there, get your hands off. You're walking straight to him without your left jab working.
And we want to remind you, Inside the NFL coming up with hosts Len Dawson and Nick Bonacani, debuting Thursday, September the 6th. Len Dawson and Nick Bonacani be with you all through the football season, giving you all the ins and outs of what's coming up and what has been in the NFL that week and the week ahead. Good show, one of the most popular on HBO, as a matter of fact. We'll get two guys, of course, who know from whence they speak. This is the 6th round.
For a guy who weighs over 230 pounds, Greg Paige has surprising little power. And he has to take advantage of his movement. And the question is if he's just too heavy to move for 12 rounds against a pressing opponent.
Larry, the reason Paige does not get the true effect of his punches is because he stays on his toes always. And a couple of right uppercuts get thrown by Greg Paige, but he stays on his toes and takes the leverage off his punches.
Well, once again, Bobby Lewis talking to David Bay in the corner between rounds, and he was saying, damn the respect. Don't have any respect for this guy. Stay right inside on him. And I can't help but wonder if that doesn't harken back to some of Page's other fights. I remember Tim Witherspoon saying he could walk right through Greg Page's punches. And I've heard that on numerous occasions before. That, of course, goes along with what Larry Merchant was just saying.
Well, I tell you, Greg Paige could punch harder. And a lot of times he throws punches while moving away. So it's not that effective, although at times he scores. Because, I mean, Greg Paige is one of the fastest heavyweights in the division. He doesn't want to be there, Barry. Once again, he's fighting David Bay's fight against the ropes and inside.
Joey Curtis yelling at the fighters, you can hear, you can fight, you can still got a hand free, you can punch. Bay, again, obeying his corner. That's what they told him to do, is stay inside. I think they probably like him to punch a little more when he is in there.
What David Bay is really trying to do is just trying to out-muscle Greg Paige. And Paige is giving him that opportunity by remaining in the corners.
Let's go. Now let's get out. No rough stuff. No rough stuff. No rough stuff. Hold it. How about no rough stuff there? Let's go.
And you heard that story. Joey Curtis telling Greg Paige no more rough stuff.
Yeah, but that was a smart thing to do for Paige, to get out of that corner. It's difficult to penetrate the defense of David Bay. Those big shoulders and his long arms. And he keeps that chin tucked down, which is smart. You notice how effective the left jab of Paige is. Once he uses it, it stops David Bay in his track.
So everyone, your hands free. What's your hands free? What's holding you up there?
Put him in the corner. Get over there.
That's my best combination, Barry. The right uppercut and left hook. The right uppercut raises your opponent's chin, and the left hook accommodates.
There's Tim Witherspoon, closer to his moment in the cleats here. And there's Larry Holmes, the man against whom Tim Witherspoon really made his reputation, losing a controversial split decision.
And then run your shits off. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. That's what I want, right? And you're laying there getting hit with bullshit shots up on the inside that you ain't never supposed to get hit with. Get the hands off, Captain. Let's go to work. Remember, this is your first title for your day. The world title is for your mom. Overhand right.
David Bay is in the Army for 6 years. You heard him say to his trainer, yes, sir. We'll see if he can follow orders here.
I think he will, Larry, because he's been motivated by Bobby Lewis.
And he has followed orders the entire fight. Paige backs him up. Paige just kind of marching at David Bay now. And again, most of those being caught on the gloves. It seems to me there's blood under the left eye now of David Bay. It is underneath the eye, so it does not appear that it will be of any great concern, at least at the moment.
Bay seems to appear to be a little tired of me, Barry. Now Paige is starting to work the body.
And that cut now getting a little bit nastier, and it could have an effect in that the eye could close because there's a lot of swelling underneath the eye. So we'll see if this doesn't change some of the strategy.
You notice now that David Bay is not really being aggressive. He's retreating now.
And he's leaning on his man also.
And that's what I was talking about. It's not a physical obstacle, it's a psychological. Could it be that he's trying to reserve himself for the last 2 rounds?
Paige also getting some good shots in on the eye. The cut is underneath the eye, but there is a lot of swelling there, so it could, as the fight goes along, start to have an effect. Combination by 3-punch combination, in fact, by Paige.
David Bay is being hit by a couple of punches now. The left hook right hand is starting to get through.
Paige being much more active in this round now, picking up the tempo. He knows he's got his man in at least a little bit of trouble because of the cut.
Bay could possibly go down because he's starting to wear down now.
And that eye is getting nastier as the moments go by here. It is not so much the cut, it's the swelling. Be a busy time in David Bay's corner between rounds here. They will have to stop the cut and get the swelling down as best they can. And we will be going into David Bay's corner to see just what they can do. It is a pretty nasty welt and cut on the upper part of the cheek, actually under the eye, bottom part of the eye bone, I guess you'd call it.
That was Paige's best round, I thought. And the question now is how the cut affects David Bay and whether there's some fatigue to mingle with the blood. As well, it seemed to me that Paige was inspired by the sight of his opponent's blood.
Hold that there. Hold this here, Buzzy. Hold that another there. Just hold that piece of iron right there.
I got it. Take some deep breaths. When he gets against them ropes and drop them hands.
Don't drop them hands. What you're doing, when he get on them ropes, you get your hands off. Jump in with that left hook that we was talking about, the leaping left hook.
Take the right hand to the body, then come up the hook.
Take the right hand to the body, then come up with the hook, and it's sitting right there in front of you.
There's a left hook by Paige, a right that wasn't clean, but was indicative of the fact that Paige did have much the best of it in that round.
And the swelling, of course, still there.
Well, there's a swelling on the forehead of David Bay, and that's a result of the 2 heads colliding.
And I'm sure it is getting to the point now that I would have to think Ray vision could start to be affected by the swelling. A little bit of blood from the nose of Greg Paige also.
Well, what could possibly happen, Barry, is the fact that David Bay could become handicapped if Paige should do more damage to the eye. Normally when a fighter that has never been cut before and is cut for the very first time in his career, sometimes he, really disturbs him.
There's also a little bit of blood, I believe, on the bridge of the nose of David Bay, although that could just be from the eye, from the gloves of Greg Paige. We'll try to keep an eye on that. Blood once more coming from the cut, which is on the cheek, but again, it's the swelling that could be the most damaging.
The good thing about it is good for David Bay is the fact that the cut is under the eye instead of above, because if that was the case, the eye would close immediately.
Bay stuck Paige with a good left hand, but it was all by its lonesome.
What Paige should do, and I see it as a good opening, lead off rights. Because he's in a position, David Bay left hand is down. I would take advantage of it.
Bay is also breathing through his mouth a little bit, and I think there is a case of fatigue in addition to the damaging cut. Greg Paige is fighting right now like a guy who feels as though he's in control of things.
Let's go again. Come on.
Greg Paige is relying on his left hook to get him inside. That was the lead-off right, but he's relying upon that left hook to get him inside. James Morton constantly told Paige to use that left jab to the body, to the head, and work that right hand in. A lot of fighters have a tendency to try to load up with one big punch. It doesn't happen that easy. The left jab leads up to those punches.
Still a ways to go in this fight. This is the 8th round, scheduled for 12.
You punch out of those punches, I'm going to break it up.
Watch some of the little uppercuts inside thrown by Greg Paige.
Come on, let's go.
Not big punches, but it has a tendency to make the swelling worse of that left eye.
Swelling is all below the eye right now. Bleeding is not appreciably worse than it was in the last round, but the swelling is a little bit so. And Paige again coming upstairs with that uppercut.
Greg Paige is beginning to turn the tide in his favor after 8 rounds. The scheduled 12-rounder, I have him slightly ahead, 4 rounds to 3 and 1 even.
I need you digging in when you're there. I don't need you sitting back.
Just like now. I say.
Thank you, Dad.
It's underneath.
Here's the doc. Just let him look at it. Doc, what doc?
It's underneath, isn't it?
It's underneath. Underneath.
Take deep breaths.
They're not bothering you.
You sharing it with him.
Don't let him get too close.
Okay? Show me you're in control of this fight. Let's get this fight over here. Okay? Body shot. Getting out. Body shot. Get him next time. Tell me. Okay? Give him a good shot. Pull the water on, Red.
You hear James Morton saying to Greg Paige that body shots will end this or at least lead to the end. He feels also that Bay is tired and that there's a soft underbelly to attack there.
You know, Larry, I've heard that a number of times from Jenks. Ready to body shots, and for real, they take their toll on the fighter.
Hey, when I tell you to break, I want you to break clean. Understand? Both of you. Understand? Let's go.
Joe Curtis taking charge in the ring. When I tell you to break, I want you to break clean, he said. Both men scored that time. Paige backed up. He might have gotten the worst of it. He says, no, I'm not hurt. He said that before, and he was.
You know why Paige is being hit, Burns? Again, he's standing straight up. He's making a big mistake by just standing in front of David Bay.
And Bay digging the uppercut.
He's not using, Paige is not using his left jab. And at this point now, because there's another cut on the right eyebrow.
That one could actually be more damaging than the first one. So David Bay obviously thinks he's got to get after him right now. That one is in the brow above the right eye. And that one in the long run could cause more problems because blood could get in his eye.
And when there's signs of desperation in the fighter, he becomes so dangerous. And the key for Paige is to use that left jab. Stay outside. And he's starting to move a lot better now. Not fight inside, he doesn't have to. This is wrong.
He's always had a habit, Greg Paige has, of taunting his opponent, playing games with his opponent.
I don't like when Paige is standing in front of this man. He needs to box. Keep boxing, work that jab.
A cut alongside the right eye, and again, we'll try to keep an eye on that too. See if it is alongside the eye or above the eye. Always more damaging if it's above.
A lot of work needs to be done to stop the bleed of David Bay.
And Paige has stopped fighting for a moment here. Took a left hand, backs up off the ropes. Once more, he's going to say he's not hurt. But those punches have a cumulative effect.
David Bay's can land those bombs to the body, and I know he wished he could land one to the head.
It appears that the cut over the right eye is alongside the eye. There doesn't seem to be any blood going into the eye itself. And the swelling on the left eye doesn't seem to be any worse than it was 2 rounds ago. He took another left-handed, Paige, from David Bay, who's actually having a pretty good round here.
You got hands free. Let's get out of it nice and easy. Okay, and do it again. Oh, punish.
Paige couldn't stand prosperity. Began to get careless and play around with that pity-pat amateur stuff and blew the round. They're working feverishly on Bay now. He has 2 cuts. Now let's take a look and show where Bay took charge early in this round. There were 2 lefts, one of them real good, and a right that landed on the chin as well, although it wasn't a stunning punch. Greg Paige likes to pose a bit too much when he thinks things are going his way, and David Bay was punching while he was posing.
Don't take it from you. Don't make us holler. Horse, baby. Come on, just do what you gotta do, baby. Let's go home.
Right to the body. Hook on top. Overhand right.
Let's go, seconds. Come on, let's go.
And it's got to be busy, baby.
Left box.
So we come to the 10th round, and that cut on David Bay's right eye is a little bit above the eye, but it's far enough outside the eye itself, I believe, to where it won't really affect his eyesight. And again in the corner, Greg Paige, they were telling him, come on, do what you're supposed to do, and let's go home.
You notice that Greg Paige has the speed to punch, get in, punch, and move out. But what he's doing, he's starting to pitter-pat. And he's not getting any respect from David Bay. And all he's been throwing so far now is just arm punches, and they're not effective, Barry.
Yeah, no snap right now in the punches.
Now let's get out of it. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Oh, let's go.
And again, you saw Greg Paige look over to his corner to Jenks Morton, and it is, while it's good to respect what your corner wants you to do and the coaching that you might be getting from the corner, it does break your concentration.
Now, what we have now is more power from David Bay than Greg Paige. Again, Paige is basically throwing arm punches. And he can't keep his man off him that way.
It's a pretty good shot by Paige. Incidentally, the corner of David Bay has done a masterful job in stopping the bleeding of both cuts. There's a little bit of blood alongside the left eye. The right eye of David Bay has not opened up again in this round. Chopping right hand by David Bay.
Punching it, that's it. You got to stop holding, stop holding, stop holding. Okay.
Paige is doing a lot of moving, but he's not working. I mean, he should be throwing some punches. He should be working the left jab a little more. In fact, both eyes are cut, so any punch would do more damage.
He seems to have had his opportunities to do damage to David Bay, and he just hasn't seemed to take advantage of them. Also, a little blood inside the mouth of Greg Paige.
He's burning more energy by just moving and not doing anything.
The question, of course, is there any sting left in the punches of David Bay?
Punch out of there.
And an overhead right there that landed, but again, it didn't land with much on it.
David Bay has re-seized the initiative here. Greg Paige, I don't know if he's tired from the body punches.
These 2 rounds.
But he's going to have to dig down and fish inside deep to find something to get this fight back.
You're getting too close when you get off.
There you see the little cut on the right eye of David Bay.
Overhand right, then go to the bottom to the left hook. But lead over that right hand. If you hit him, he'll go, I'm telling you. Okay. You're getting too close. You're smothering your tank. That's why you can't generate no power. Take a deep breath now.
Use that water.
There you could see what the face looked like as the round closed. A lot of blood splattered around, but he doesn't seem to be in any real trouble as far as this fight is concerned.
Let's put it out, man. You put it out. You gotta get him out of there.
It's a question of whether mean intentions can beat mean feet.
Is it your feeling, Larry, that this will come down to the last 2 rounds?
I think Paige has to win these 2 rounds to win the fight. I think it's a close fight, and I think you will see somewhat of a resurgence of strength from both fighters, because these last 2 rounds, like Bobby Lewis stated to Dave Bay, we want these 2 rounds, and they both need it.
Let's go. Joey Curtis and Greg Paige exchanging words. We said at the top of this program that it was the kind of night that you really didn't know who was going to win, and here we are into the 11th round of this fight, and we still don't know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about this whole card is the fact that each fighter has the ability to defeat the other, rather, and you never know what's going to happen. I think they're very evenly matched.
Paige is one of those guys that looks for all the world like he should be the champion of the world, and just never seems to put all the pieces together.
But he can, I mean, he has the tools to become champion, but it takes a little more drive, a little more discipline to make anything happen. It takes a good attitude also.
David Bay's corner. Bobby Lewis telling David Bay to take a step back from his man and not crowd him quite as much as he was to generate a little more power. Paige continues to fight with his back to the ropes. It's cost him dearly in previous fights.
I don't know why David Bay backed off from Greg Paige. He should have stayed there and continued to work, whether it was the body, whether or not it was their arms.
Good right hand by Bay, and it backed Greg Paige up. And another good right hand by Bay, or left hand rather by Bay.
You know, both fighters starting to rock each other with left hooks and right hands. But what they're going to have to do, once they hurt each other, they have to follow up with more combinations or more punches.
That's the way I want to see it. Let's go.
Greg Paige finally pushes David Bay away. Bay had the better of that exchange inside.
Paige pushed David Bay off, but he should have been doing it throughout the fight.
They're again trying to back away to get more power.
You gotta move the right hand. You got to have it the first time you hit him on that chin. This is the last round.
Definitely. We're too hard for this, baby. Too many miles, too many hard to go a mile, now rest of you gotta go get it.
You gotta push the last round, you understand?
You gotta push him back. Push him back. Shit, baby. We work too hard for this. Let's take it.
Get close, throw it. You're holding it back. Throw it.
When you beat them corners on the ropes, throw it. To the body
Throw it.
and the
Wherever
left
he
hook.
go, you want that right hand thrown at his head. Throw it.
Push it. Keep firing. Keep firing. Don't you stop firing. This is last round. We ain't got no more to go, okay? Fire. That's what they're trying to do.
My impression as we go into the last round is that Greg Paige hasn't done himself any good in this fight. His reputation, regardless of whether he wins or not. But that David Bay, if he can close impressively and win, will have done himself a whole lot of good.
That might have been the best combination of the fight right there by David Bay to start the final round.
Well, Bobby Lewis and Bay's corner instructed him to throw a right hand, and he just landed.
And another good right hand by David Bay. Bay right on top of him. left eye now of David Bay is almost closed, but he figures he's got about 2.5 minutes to go, and that's it. David Bay has never gone beyond the 10-round distance. His was the question mark so far as conditioning is concerned, not Greg Paige. But right now, Bay seems as though he may be the stronger of the two.
Well, Bay is in excellent shape. And you know, Barry, he blocked out the feeling of going another additional 2 rounds. And he looks great. Evidently, he's trained very hard for this fight. He wants to win.
And again, Greg Paige just standing there. And once more, just to echo what Larry Merchant had said, not looking any part the champion.
I think Paige had the world on his shoulders, so much pressure. Trying to look impressive. He wanted to look good for the people, and Thomas a big change in Greg Paige, along with David Bay, who has created a lot of problems for him.
Well, there was a definite note of concern in Greg Page's corner. He sticks his tongue out at David Bay, but this is all showbiz here. This is the land of show business, but right now, David Bay's the guy with a white collar and the 3-piece suit.
This is what champions are made of, David Bay. I mean, he's pushing himself, and both eyes has been cut, and he's still just as determined.
He's bleeding from the nose as well. A lot of heart for David Bay.
He's still pressuring the fight. He's carrying the fight. Body shots, he's been doing a number, and a good job on Greg Paige.
And again, a combination in close quarters.
What the judges are looking at, Percy, Paige, David Bay has not stopped fighting.
Not even when he was cut, he appeared to just hit a leveling point for a while, but since that point, since he was cut over the right eye, actually, he's just come roaring back. And here he is finishing with a roar. Coming down toward 20 seconds remaining in this fight. David Bay will have won a lot of friends tonight, win or lose.
I take my hat off to David Bay.
Been a great performance for him. Only 13 fights, remember. He's never gone 12 rounds. And that's it. And this one is in the hands of the judges. Crowd very appreciative. This is a knowledgeable crowd here in Las Vegas, as you would expect. David Bay, I would have to think, really fared very well. And again, that's not to make the decision for the judges, but win or lose, he's the guy who's going to come out of it really the favorite son, I would think.
Well, I was very impressed with the fact that David Bay was able to block out the thought of going additional rounds, and he put on a great show.
David Bay was a guy with only 13 fights, 11 knockouts, so you know he hasn't gone too far. Let's take a look at some action in that final round, and Bay's just going for it.
Well, David Bay made the fight. He kept the pressure on, landed some very heavy punches to the body, and the mistake that Greg Paige was making, he was trying to load it with one punch, the left hook. And he was pretty much fighting David Bay's fight, inside and against the ropes, which was a bad mistake.
Well, now they say that when you're the underdog, as David Bay was, you've got to take the fight to your opponent. Now, if that's what judges are looking for, I don't think there's any question as to how this decision could go.
Well, David Bay definitely made the fight. A couple of times, Greg Paige landed a few combinations, but there's still more.
And let's now get up for the official decision. We'll go to Chuck Hull for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Dave Moretti scores 115, 113. Judge Lou Tabbitt scores 116, 112. And Judge Chuck Meeker scores 115, 114 for the new USBA heavyweight champion, David Bay.
And the excitement, of course, that you would expect. And this is a decision I don't think you'll find too many people who would disagree with, Ray.
Well, quite naturally, Greg Paige is devastated because he wanted to show the people a new Greg Paige. And, I mean, people have to understand there was a lot of pressure on Paige from his loss some time ago, and he's trying to regroup.
Well, at the beginning of the fight, especially, he did seem to be doing all the right things. And yet, for some reason, Greg Paige, as I mentioned during the fight, he looks for all the world like he should be the champion of the world. And yet, there seems to be some element missing. I don't know whether it's heart. I don't know whether it's style. I don't know whether it's punch. I don't really know exactly what it is. But you know that there is something missing from the man. And I just can't put my finger on it. Can you?
I'm sure that now, once Greg Paige goes back and watch the tapes, he's going to realize that he needs to have more work and be more aggressive.
All right, we'll come back to this discussion right now. Larry Merchant is with the winner, David Bay, and certainly a very happy winner. Larry, you got it.
Whoa, that was wrong. Give us the man. Give us the man. All right, David Bay, you have two nasty-looking eyes. You got cuts here, and the both eyes, on top of both eyes.
That's part of business. That's part of business.
How much did it bother you during the fight?
Oh, Paige, he's slick. He's real slick, you know, y'all. But it really didn't bother me because you don't feel them while you're in the ring. They become numb. You get hit so much when they become numb.
What won the fight for you?
I guess my aggressiveness, and I hit the most effective shots.
It seemed, we talked earlier about discipline, determination. You took off a lot of weight. It showed in this fight. How did you take off 50, 60 pounds?
Determination, running and training every day. That's the way I did it. You know, I get up and run 6 miles every morning with a plastic suit on, drink a lot of water, and eat that much.
It showed in the ring tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to say hi to my friends back in Nicetown, Philadelphia, and to my little baby Leia. Thank you.
Barry?
Thank you very much, Larry Merchant. Very impressive victory for him, I would think it's safe to say, right?
I think it was. And in fact, he displayed so much determination and heart and desire to win, Barry. I mean, you have to take your head off to the guy.
It was an outstanding victory for him, and he really dug down deep. You know, they talk about heart in sports. They talk about it in every sport. I don't think it's anywhere more indicative than it was in the ring tonight with David Bay.
Well, Bay, I mean, he was handicapped. Both eyes were cut severely, and he just kept pushing it, kept going for it, and he got it.
All right, a little bit earlier tonight, Michael Dokes was in the ring. It had been a tough time for Michael Dokes the last time he stepped between the ropes. That was in Cleveland when he fought Jerry Coetzee. Tonight, he fought a fellow by the name of Mike Jameson. And to be perfectly honest with you, it was not much of a performance for Michael Dokes. Jameson came in here with a 10-6 record, and that is nothing certainly to be very proud of. And we're in the final 30 seconds right now as we watch the Michael Dokes fight. Sorry, I thought we were going to fill it. A little blood from the nose of Jameson off down to that last punch. He was unmarked tail end. Left hand flicked into the face. This one will go the distance. And so the Greg Paige David Bay fight is now history. David Bay has won it, and now the spotlight swings to the main go. Dokes, of course, went on to win that decision, but I'll tell you, they always say a win is a win. I think in this case, a win was not necessarily a win. It was not really an impressive performance for him at all.
Well, it was a tough going, and it had so much against him. And, you know, he just didn't have it. And that was a fact.
He looked to be tired at the end of the first or second round. So Michael Dokes is a winner, but a questionable winner. David Bay, a very impressive winner, I think it's safe to say. And now the spotlight turns to the main event. This one for the WBC Championship between Tim Witherspoon and a challenger who should give him a lot, Pinklon Thomas. The golden glow of the desert is once again the spotlight for a championship. The showdown is on as night falls on Las Vegas. WBC heavyweight champion Tim Witherspoon is trying to rekindle the intensity he first exhibited in his controversial loss to then WBC champion Larry Holmes. He was one punch away from certain victory. Then in March of '84, after a sloppy 12 rounds of boxing, the vacant WBC title was all his. The challenger, Pinklon Thomas, has waited 6 long years for this precious chance. Boxing for him was a means to battle the pitfalls of an errant childhood. And in January of 1983, a respectable draw with reigning WBA champion Jerry Coetzee brought his name into the public spotlight. 2 giants fight for the title. One goes home with the belt. And now, Tim Witherspoon battles Pinklon Thomas for the WBC crown. Live from the Riviera Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing. It's time for the main event. WBC heavyweight champion Tim Witherspoon defends his crown against Pinklon Thomas. Skeptics like to question Tim Witherspoon's claim to the heavyweight title. And tonight, in front of a Las Vegas desert crowd and millions of television viewers, he can answer his critics with his fists. Pinklon Thomas has his own production number planned as well. And Sugar Ray Leonard, as we stand here just before this fight between Witherspoon and Pinklon Thomas, there's a lot of people all around here, people around the sport of boxing, who are saying flat out Pinklon Thomas is going to win this fight.
Well, I think the question is, they don't know what's going to happen. There's been a couple of upsets. In fact, with Pinklon Thomas, who is a converted southpaw, so he has a very strong left jab, Angelo Dundee stated that the jab would throw off Witherspoon, so we may see an upset in the makings.
Even though Tim Witherspoon is a guy who wears a championship belt, he still seems to carry himself in the role of challenger. Once more tonight, even though he's the champion, Tim Witherspoon has to prove himself.
On the night of March 9th, 1984, the dreaming stopped. Life itself took over. And to be sure, life for Tim Witherspoon was grand.
Exactly after the fight, it was just me just enjoying the belt, trying to enjoy all my entourage, you know, all the things that everybody after the fight, you know, all the good things about the fighting game. You know, we just, after we won the title, we just wanted to have fun, but not for that long. I know the bigger job was yet to come, even though we had the belt. So the work was just beginning. Whoever holds the belt has a lot of work to do.
And with success came the critics. He's a tainted champion. He's dull. He doesn't punch enough. He needs to learn to sell himself. He needs to learn to be a champion.
I learned that ever since the fight, that to be in shape, because I would have knocked Greg Paige out if I was felt a little bit mentally and a little bit physically better. I'd have knocked him out before the 7th round. I'm exciting, but I gotta throw a little bit more punches. So I want to give them what they're paying for. I think it's wrong for me not to give them what they're looking for because it only hurt me. I gotta throw punches. They want that. I'm trying to do it, and we're doing it. We're way ahead of our schedule. So Pinklon better watch out. You better watch out on 31st. I got the kids. I got the belt. I got everything else behind me. I got the Raiders. He in trouble.
Being a champion is more than winning a fight. It's learning to sell the sizzle. Ali did it, Leonard did it, but for Tim Witherspoon, the performance was roundly panned.
Yeah, to make funeral arrangements. Pinklon said it, remember?
Pinklon said he better make funeral arrangements.
Yeah.
Is it really good or not? They don't like each other.
He better show up at the fight. You know, I attend the press conference. I'm pretty much programmed what to say. You know, it's politics and everything. And I'm gonna have to work overtime just to keep the belt. These press conferences is supposed to be to build the fight up and start a lot of excitement. I said I try to be Ali, but I'm nothing like him. I didn't know that. They would told me to tell Pinklon that I'm gonna kick his butt and all this, and that's all I did. But now I'm getting feedback. He tried to be like Ali, and it didn't work. All this, so I just gotta get in shape and kick.
Tim Witherspoon is a champion with problems. His fights in the ring are criticized. His fights outside the ring are publicized. Trainer Aaron Snow is quick to rally the cause.
There's a lot of fighters, you know, getting paid better than what he is. You know, Greg Paige got paid more to fight off for the title than what Tim is getting paid right now to defend his title. And you have to wonder, he beat Greg Paige, right? And his value should go up, and he's fighting a good quality of fighter, and that's Pinklon Thomas. Pinklon Thomas is a rough opponent.
And in the other corner, Carl King, manager of record and target of the in-house bickering. King signs the checks, which say Witherspoon's people aren't enough.
I know that there are some members of the entourage who happens to feel that maybe I'm not doing my job to the best of my ability, but they also don't understand the intricate details of my business either. And it's a shame that that you have some people who are probably envious or jealous of that type of relationship or that type of situation, that it's an old adage, the way to win is to divide and conquer, and I think that's what it's about, but I'm not about to give up so easily either. So, you know, in the world of which the economy, the state of the economy is in the situation it's in today, I think for any athlete, period, that's coming out of the ghetto, out of inner city, or out of any neighborhood in which he's got an opportunity to perhaps make more money than he could have made had he not been a professional athlete, I think they ought to come to grips to realize that, you know, we're on the same team here. It's not that I'm battling against anybody. I'm fighting for my guys, and I would like for them to fight for me also.
I might be broke, but at least I'm sticking up to what I'm here for, that's all. And I'm not scared. I'm not scared to say it, because the belt is a great thing to have, but what good is it if it ain't no happiness with it? So that's all I got to say, is no happiness with it, and the entourage feel the same effect. So I'm speaking for them, I'm speaking for us, and all who want to be right.
So Tim Witherspoon fights for his title, for parity, for acclamation. And Tim Witherspoon hoping to get that acclaim in this ring right here, as coming up, the battle for the WBC championship between the champion, Tim Witherspoon, and Pinklon Thomas. This is first defense of the title. It does seem, you know, that most of the conversation about this fight, and in fact in sports in general, is centered around money. Who gets what and for what reason? Who's the manager of record? And do you really need a manager of record? I guess it's just what makes the world go round. It's also what makes Larry Merchant think and speak about at this point. Larry?
Going into his 20th professional fight, Tim Witherspoon is distressed because he isn't yet a millionaire. That's not an uncommon feeling here in Las Vegas, wanting to be rich and famous fast. In fact, only yesterday, a guy leaped off a 325-foot building into an enlarged pillow, in effect, to win $1 million bet. This isn't the time to examine the financial plight of Tim Witherspoon, but it is time to examine whether this hunger for money and fame in a hurry will affect the fight tonight. He insists that he is going to do what the people want. He's going to give them more action, more punching. He's going to make hearts race, more excitement. That's all well and good, but it could backfire. He could leave himself open for something. And the undefeated challenger, Pinklon Thomas, has both the patience and the persistence to capitalize on mistakes of overzealousness. It's the story of his life.
I was the typical youth, turned bad. At 12, I was running a 100-yard dash in 10.5. By the age of 14, I was a heroin addict. Somehow I survived. This is my story, the Pinklon Thomas journey from nowhere.
Pinklon Thomas Jr. grew up in this modest home at 465 Phildew Avenue in Pontiac, Michigan. His surroundings were laced with the false hopes of abandoned housing projects, but when you don't have abundance, there's nothing to miss. So in the beginning, Whittier Elementary School supplied adequate playgrounds and baseball fields for aspiring young athletes like Pinklon. But suddenly, the bases were empty when busing and integration swept through the nation.
I went to an all-black school, majority all-black, 2% Mexican. And then all of a sudden I was bused, you know, cross-country to another school. Let's see, when they started the integration and the busing, I went to Washington. I was in the 8th grade. That's when I met Kathy. She was going to Lincoln. And her class came over to our school, and the orchestra class, and came over to our school and was, you know, playing. I was sitting out in the audience, you know, I had a couple of girlfriends then, you know.
Well, he was a little crazy at the time, you know. He had a lot of problems, but for some reason, I just kind of took to him, and, you know, he took to me, and that was the beginning of it, and from that point on, we were... we were steady companions from that point on.
Unfortunately, Kathy was unaware of Pinklon's participation in gang wars at Roselawn and his experimentation with drugs.
It was the area at that time, it was real fast, a lot of drugs, a lot of people selling dope. I was doing a lot of things. Kathy never knew what I was doing. I, really didn't expose that to her. I can recall using heroin mixed with quinine called mixed jive, snorting it on the album cover, looking at the football games.
It was a long haul with Pinky because I wasn't into drugs. At the time, I knew that he was messing around, but I wasn't into drugs.
It led from 1 penny cap to 2 to 5 to $10 to 15 to 20, and then it led from mixed jive, from a mixture of quinine and heroin to just raw heroin. I was caught up pretty bad. I had a friend of mine, he had been to the clinic, was on methadone. I was on for about 3 months, I guess. And really come to find out the methadone was worse than the drugs, I lost about 15 pounds. And the high was just as good as the heroin.
I needed to get away, and the best way to do that was to join the Army.
After basic training, Kathy was stationed in Seattle, Washington. By that time, she had called for a now desperate Pinklon Thomas to join her.
Kathy, when she went to the service, like I said, that was the weakest point for me. So I started using more and more. And then I had a buddy get killed, close friend got killed.
There were a lot of depressing times, a lot of times when things were really down and really bad, but it just never occurred to me to walk away. I mean, what else was I gonna do? I was with him for so long, where else was I gonna go? So I just wanted to hang in there with him until things got better.
Boxing provided a new direction in a journey that's an inspiration to all of us.
And this is the ultimate for me. So I've reached where I'm trying to get to. And all I gotta do is get that belt. But I'll never go back to where I was before, because there's nowhere. I want what I did in the past to reflect positive towards youth, adults. You can be at the downest moments in your life. You could be an alcoholic, you could be a dope fiend, but if you really, really have something to motivate you, to give you the desire to want to change, and it's positive, you can do it. Because the truth is, the light is within yourself. And if you bring it out, it's there.
And this man right here will try to bring it out. Pinklon Thomas has come into the ring wearing, of course, what else? Pink. On the back of his robe, it says Undisputed Truth. May not be champion, but it is truth, and he would like to replace Truth tonight with champion. So Pinklon Thomas in the ring, and there's a look at his record. 24 wins. He has not yet lost. And the draw, of course, coming with Jerry Coetzee, who is on hand to watch tonight. 20 knockouts for Pinklon Thomas. He says that he can take a man out with one punch, Ray.
Well, Pinklon Thomas is a converted southpaw, Barry, and he's very strong. And I think what you're going to see, a lot of left jabs thrown.
And he has a very effective left jab. He does throw it in combination. And the jab, really, it was described to me as not a left jab, but a left punch.
It's a hard jab. It will jolt the guy back. He just can't, an opponent can't stick a glove out there and expect to just be able to parry it.
And here's the man who will provide the opposition tonight, and a very formidable one to be sure, Tim Witherspoon. Terrible Tim, they call him. And he makes his way to the ring now. Tim Witherspoon, in his own evaluation of himself, says, I have to be rated in the top 10 in history defensively. And boxing, of course, is perhaps as much defense as it is offense.
Well, I guess Tim feels he needs to throw more punches and get the job done a little better to be appreciated by the people. And I think tonight's going to be a big and a great and interesting fight.
We talked about the fact, and Larry touched on it in his commentary too, that there's been so much going on outside the ring as regards this fight, as regarding how much money Tim Witherspoon is going to get, how much he deserves, how much he should get. Do the outside the ring distractions ever affect a fighter inside the ring, Ray?
It creates a lot of friction. In fact, it breaks the concentration of a fighter, especially when he has to deal in the business aspect of the fight game.
I really think, Ray, that it depends on the fighter. Roberto Duran used to use money as a way of inspiring himself, of bringing up his anger, of giving himself a sense of injustice. And I think that Tim Witherspoon is using it in that fashion. I don't think it's going to distract him.
Talking to Tim Witherspoon before the fight, he said, I'm going to be in his face all night long. And the truth of the matter is, I'm not too sure, but that's not exactly what Pinklon Thomas would like.
I think both fighters would be in front of each other.
And here's the record of Tim Witherspoon. He has just the one loss, and that was certainly not an embarrassing one to Larry Holmes, a fight that a lot of people feel he won. 18-1, 12 knockouts. Neither one of these men what you'd call completely experienced. As Pinklon Thomas with just over 20 fights, and as you saw, Tim Witherspoon with just 18 fights. So neither one of these guys really is going to write the book on experience. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. They're both 26. They're both 6'3", within a pound of one another and within a half-inch in reach. So if you're going to look for any difference in the tail of the tape, you certainly will not be finding it there. Common opponents, as you can see, common results as well. These two really seem to be very, very evenly matched. So it's Tim Witherspoon and Pinklon Thomas, this for the WBC Championship. And right now, let's go up to the ring announcer, Chuck Hall, for the pre-fight festivities.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have you meet some of the boxing dignitaries in the audience this evening and ask these gentlemen to step into the ring as they are introduced. Introducing, first of all, the WBA welterweight champion from Fort Worth, Texas, Donald Curry. A former WBC junior lightweight champion, now a lightweight contender, Hector Macho Camacho. The WBA heavyweight champion of the world from Huntington Beach, California, Jerry Coetzee. And the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world from Easton, Pennsylvania, the Easton assassin, Larry Holmes. And the premier sports promoter, boxing promoter of the world, Mr. Don King. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce the Naval Reserve color guard from Las Vegas. And here now, I hope you will all join this talented young man from the Jackson family in the rendering of God Bless America. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Jermaine Jackson.
So we await the singing of God Bless America, and here we are with Jermaine Jackson of the Jackson 5.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairie to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Home, sweet
Mr. Jermaine Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, and the United States Naval Reserve Color Guard. Color Guard, you are dismissed, and thank you very much.
Go, Chuck. Go, Chuck. Chuck, go. Chuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout of the evening is sanctioned by the WBC, Jose Suleiman, President, and by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Bob Fremoyle, Chairman, Roy Tennyson, Executive Secretary, with Commissioner Art Lurie in attendance. The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission at this time, the judges are Dwayne Ford, Dolby Shirley, and Hal Miller. The timekeeper is Al Bisick, counting at the knockdowns Charlie Roth. The attending physicians at ringside, Doctors Donald Romeo and Flip Pomansky, and the referee is Richard Steele. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing, in the blue corner, the challenger, rated number 3 by the WBC in the world, fighting out of Pontiac, Michigan, weighing 216 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 24 wins, no defeats, 1 draw, and 20 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger, Pinklon Thomas. And in the red corner, introducing the WBC champion of the world in the heavyweight division. He fights out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 217 pounds. His professional record consists of 18 wins, 1 defeat with 12 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion, Terrible Tim Witherspoon.
Okay, I gave both fighters instructions in the dressing room. I want to caution you, obey my commands at all times. When I say break, stop punching, take a step back. Protecting yourself at all times. Shake hands, good luck to both of you.
They say the heavyweight division isn't what it used to be, and they may be right. Certainly as far as the color of the challenger's trunks, pink. It didn't used to be that way.
But I'll tell you, if your name is Pinky, you've got to be tough.
You got to fight.
Grandfather named Franklin, grandmother named Pinky. They combined them, and it became Pinklon. And he's actually the second of the Pinklons, and his son is also a Pinklon.
And here's a guy who has not changed the expression on his face in the 4 days that we've been here in Las Vegas. He has looked exactly the same at all times. And incidentally, one other note as we get started here in the first round. Tim Witherspoon actually got a mixture of cheers and boos when he was introduced. So as we mentioned, he's a champion, but he has to treat himself as a challenger. He's got a lot to prove.
What I've noticed, both fighters are standing straight up, and they're winning the best shots. So we could have a flash flood knockdown. Well, there's no perspiration. I guess that's because of the national anthem. Pinklon Thomas has that good left jab, good strong left jab. Tim Witherspoon works the body very well. Very strong inside.
He has said he's got to punch more, he's got to be more active, and he said he was going to do that. Now we'll see if the man can change his style. We saw one man try to change his style in a fight just a moment ago, and we saw him lose. Greg Paige was a different Greg Paige, but the result was a loss to David Bay.
Both fighters are very tight at this point, Barry, and they're just trying to establish themselves with their left jabs.
Thomas, former track man, has very good legs, good solid-looking fighter. Takes a good chopping right hand by Tim Witherspoon.
That's going to happen throughout the fight, as long as both fighters are standing straight up.
And Thomas content to keep that left hand down around his waistband and just inviting that right hand lead.
You notice that Tim Witherspoon always finished off by throwing a body shot. He's a very good body puncher. He knows exactly how to wear his man down and then take advantage of it.
Neither one of these fighters has been around for a long time, interesting to note.
Well, I think natural talent Barrett both fighter has, and just that natural raw physical strength that compensates for the inexperience.
Witherspoon, 19 years old when he started fighting. Pinklon Thomas, 21 years old when he started fighting. Only had 3 amateur fights. Actually, a little bit of swelling early along the left eye of Pinklon Thomas.
Well, they're both just wailing away at each other, and they're standing in front. No movement, no lateral movement, no angles. Everything's right in front of each other.
There's a 2-punch combination by Thomas. Pretty early to have any swelling, and Thomas does have just ever so slight an amount on the cheek. He took a good punch that time from Tim Witherspoon.
Oh, look at the right hand of Pinklon Thomas. He drops it every time he extends that left jab. A left hook by Tim Witherspoon would be beautiful.
Something to watch for, and he does in fact do that. Tim Witherspoon, true to his word, has been much more active in round 1 here.
Let's go into the corner of Tim Witherspoon, the champion.
Pushing your jab, all right? Jab, left hook. Left hook up off the jab, all right? All right? Give him a little rinse.
Aaron Snoll is 24 years old, a trainer, probably the youngest trainer ever of a heavyweight champion.
All right? You jab, left hook, Tim. You keep pushing your jab, all right?
And there you see with his back to you, the veteran trainer Angelo Dundee, who was brought in just 2 weeks ago to be with Pinklon Thomas.
And stay loose. See what you do licks this fella, right? Let's do it. Stay loose. Don't get tight. Come on.
Angelo Dundee is looking for his 10th world champion in this fight. He is 63 years old. Just yesterday, in fact, Ray.
Happy birthday, Angelo.
We'll see if it is or not.
Angelo Dundee does have a way of getting the attention of his fighter in the corner. I'll say that, Ray.
Well, if someone's smacking your thigh, it brings you back to life. And that's what Angelo's trying to do with Pinklon Thomas. He doesn't want his man to remain stiff and tight. He wants him to loosen up a bit.
And Pinklon Thomas is straight up and down here, and right now the better jabs are coming from Tim Witherspoon.
And now Pinklon Thomas floating that left jab. Once again, the right hand of Pinklon Thomas is down. He drops it. And I don't see why Tim Witherspoon is not taking advantage of it. There's the right hand.
It was a good punch, even though Tim Witherspoon was falling away when he threw it. Another quick right hand lead. And Thomas keeps that left hand down by his side, too, until he flicks the jab, and then he drops his right hand.
I'm more so concerned with that right hand of Pinklon Thomas because the left hand, his shoulders are protecting him. But that right hand always bothers him. He's just too straight up, Barry. I mean, jabs, right hands can easily connect, rather.
Witherspoon scoring with some proficiency here.
What's going to be the case?
Good combination by Thomas that time. Might have stunned or at least gotten the attention of Tim Witherspoon.
And what's doing the damage is the left jab of Pinklon Thomas, because it's like a right hand because he's converted southpaw.
Witherspoon picking up the pace early on here, something he has not done in the past. He promised everybody he would. He's been true to his word so far. But he's got a tough customer in front of him tonight.
I've seen both fighters much more relaxed in other fights than I've seen tonight.
Combination by Witherspoon. Both score. Thomas seems to telegraph his punches a little bit, too.
For Pinklon, especially when he throws that right hand to the body, it's open glove, so it's not really that effective.
Right hand lead that time by Thomas.
Just then, Tim Witherspoon switched to southpaw. He didn't land. They both seem so tight to me, though.
Right hand by Thomas, or rather by Witherspoon again. As Ray Leonard mentioned earlier, Pinklon Thomas, a converted southpaw. In fact, he is really left-handed. He writes left-handed, does most things left-handed. Good right hand combination by Pinklon Thomas. Jab is effective when it does get in. Heavy-handed, Pinklon Thomas. Oh, we want to remind you that we have plenty of boxing coming your way here on HBO. Another outstanding fight card, World Championship Boxing, coming up on Friday, October 19th. We will be in New York at Madison Square Garden, where marvelous Marvin Hagler, the undisputed middleweight champion, tries it again against Mustafa Hamsho. Hamsho much improved from the last time these two saw each other, and a lot of people are saying that perhaps marvelous Marvin Hagler can be had. Hagler, of course, doesn't think so.
Deep breath. You got it. Don't worry about it. You got it. Got plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Go inside.
Spit it out.
Took a shot under the heart and bring it back over the top. Quick movements up top.
Let's see you go.
His eye cut. No, that's swung. One jab at a time now. You time it. Right hand, look for.
Tim Witherspoon asked if Thomas's eye was cut. Perhaps he saw some reddening there. These are two big, strong men just standing in front of each other and punching away.
That's exactly what's happened. This whole fight has been fought in the center of the ring. It's a 20-foot square. It's been fought in about 4-foot square.
Well, there's just a little redness under the eyes of Pinklon Thomas. And I'm sure Tim Witherspoon wants to go after it and make it worse.
And Witherspoon continues to work very hard offensively.
Once again, Witherspoon turns southpaw. What's happening? Both fighters are just trying to load up with one big punch. Those are good shots to the body by Witherspoon.
Very good body shot. Witherspoon looking very sharp. Takes that jab again. When Thomas gets that jab inside, it is a very effective punch, and it actually snaps the head of his opponent back. Another thing to keep in mind is that Thomas is a fighter who historically has fought better in the later rounds.
Well, now Thomas just tried to land a good right hand. And what you're saying now, both fighters getting relaxed. Good body shot with the left hook to the body thrown by Tim Witherspoon. But as I was saying, Barrett, they're both fighters getting loose now. And you'll see more punches thrown.
Witherspoon staying very busy so far, being pretty sharp with his punches. Both men actually fairly sharp with their punches.
He has to be very careful with this one way he walks away, because what can happen, Pinklon Thomas can rush in and land some shots.
Witherspoon talking to Thomas, saying, come on, come on. That's a good left hook. Some pretty heavy punches being landed through the first 2.5 rounds here. Witherspoon a little bit short with the right hand. We had his man open. Witherspoon did an interesting thing there. Before he took 2 punches from Thomas, he just took a big, deep breath.
But he stood directly in front of Pinklon Thomas. That's why Pinklon was able to land. That jab just...
And he's still breathing through his mouth, and I don't know if there's some trouble. Might have been hit in the stomach or something and caused him to catch his breath.
Witherspoon was blinking now. That jab, as I was stating, the jab of Pinklon Thomas is so strong and so devastating.
Thomas being very efficient here. And Witherspoon's pace has slowed considerably here in this round.
Now Pinklon is doing the right thing. He's starting to pick his shots.
Wild right hand by Witherspoon at the bell. Interesting round, I think, Larry.
I think that Thomas put some real hurt on Witherspoon in that round. A left jab made him blink. And for some reason, Witherspoon looked like he was sucking a little air there. I don't know what that was all about. There you see Witherspoon pouring through the defense. Thomas pouring through Witherspoon's defense. Here's another look at it. As you notice, Witherspoon tries to use his right hand as a parrying defensive weapon. And what Thomas is trying to do is find ways to come around it, both with the right and the left hooks.
Back them up right here around the body. You know, got you too hard. That's your legs. Let's go. Jab right here around the body, left hook up top. All right?
This is the fourth round. And Pinklon Thomas started to exert himself in that last round.
Well, Witherspoon was instructed to work that body, right hand to the body and back up to the head. But he has to get inside first. And what's going to get him inside, Barry, is the left jab.
Backhanded him. And Richard Steele steps in and says, you can't do that.
That was a version of Bruce Lee.
We have seen that a number of times tonight. You know, you can almost see a fighter when he decides that he's got respect for his man, and that's the way Tim Witherspoon looks to me right now. It looks like he's thinking, this guy can hurt me.
I'm sure he's aware of that. And I noticed that Witherspoon is constantly blinking his eye. It appears to me it's starting to bother him. Witherspoon doesn't appear to me, Barry, to be in the fight. I mean, he just doesn't seem as confident as I've seen him in his previous fights.
He's blinking like a fighter who might have been thumbed. I didn't see that happen, but it's not inconceivable that it could have.
I mean, Witherspoon was just not as aggressive. He's just there. And you notice that Thomas is just taking advantage of it. And he's picking his shots. He used that left jab very well. And what's protecting Thomas is his shoulders, because Tim Witherspoon's punches are roundhouse and is riding over Thomas' shoulders.
Witherspoon covering up, and Thomas still scoring. A little bit of swelling, not appreciably, but a little bit of swelling along the left eye of Tim Witherspoon. He's taking a lot of shots.
I've noticed that Witherspoon puts both feet together. Very bad. It's so easy to be knocked down or knocked off balance.
You know, the other side of the coin, we talked about the fact that Thomas is a straight up and down fighter, but he does always seem to be on balance when he punches. He's flat-footed, really seems to get the most out of his punches. That was a good right hand by Witherspoon.
Watch the jab. Look at the jab of Pinklon Thomas. I mean, he's starting to double up now. And what Witherspoon is doing, he's starting to telegraph that right hand. Pinklon Thomas is waiting for it, and that's why he just covers up.
Thomas pacing himself as he has in most every fight. For a moment, Witherspoon goes southpaw again, now switches back.
Look at that left jab just getting through. And it's consistent, Barry. And it's starting to bother Witherspoon.
Witherspoon breathing through his mouth a little bit. He's absorbed a lot of punishment, actually. There hasn't been the one big punch. But Thomas has got that jab in his face, and it's a very effective jab. You can just hear it snap every time he uses it.
Exactly. He's snapping it. It appears to me he's waiting for it to get his right hand in, because his jab is definitely finding its way through to the defense of Witherspoon.
Yeah. All right, start putting a little bit more pressure on him. Start squatting down and shooting jabs. Start shooting jabs. Squat down on him. Your legs are a little bit too straight up in the air, all right? Start squatting down. Start pumping. You want to step to him now, all right? Make him use his legs, all right? Make him lose his legs now, all right? Jab. Yeah. Jab, left hook to the body. It's a good right hand up top. Yeah, it's a good fight, Tim. All right? Just put a little more pressure on him.
Pick it up. Get looser with that jab. Get looser with that jab. No, come on. Well, stop backing up. And when he turns southpaw, jab him. You can't jab him when he turns southpaw. Get up, come on. Get up next time, come on.
You heard Witherspoon ask whether it was a good fight. Once again, his concern that he is performing so that the public will appreciate his performance. But of course, he's got to win.
You know, Angelo instructed Pinklon Thomas, once Tim Witherspoon turns to southpaw, to release that left jab because he can catch him while he's in motion.
Well, a jab has been very effective for Pinklon Thomas, and he seems, for the last round and a half or so, to have taken charge in this fight.
That right out, Barry, is really bothering Tim Witherspoon. He's blinking now.
Seems to be. One of the 3 punches landed by Witherspoon, and now he retreats to the ropes.
Witherspoon is so concerned on whether or not he's looking good or whether or not it's a good fight that I think it's just breaking his concentration.
Subscribing to the theory that it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you look playing the game.
Well, and that's the way to make more money, too. You got to be impressive, and I think that's what's on his mind.
You know, the other thing that strikes me, too, about the way Witherspoon fights, Witherspoon seems to be looking at the belt buckle of Pinklon Thomas and not into his eyes.
Well, I don't know exactly what his strategy is. I mean, he's been going to the body, whatever opportunity he has, but he has not been consistent enough. Whereas at Pinklon Thomas, I mean, he's moving away, he's using his footwork, he steps out of reach of Witherspoon. Look, he's very elusive there.
Backhanded him again, and once more, Richard Steele gives him a warning about it.
And that could prove to be costly if they deduct a round.
You know, just as we said earlier, that Witherspoon seems at this point to respect the fact that Thomas can hurt him. The opposite, I feel, is true about Thomas. I believe he doesn't think that Witherspoon can hurt him.
Well, Witherspoon has yet to land some big punches.
Good right hand there by Thomas. And there's a lunging shot by Witherspoon once more.
It could possibly, like I said, but it could, well, he's deducting 1 round. And now you may see frustration in the eyes of Tim Witherspoon, which he can lose his composure and leave himself wide open.
So 1 point deducted from Tim Witherspoon by Richard Steele. 2 warnings in this round for backhanding.
You know something? Pinklon Thomas is so relaxed, Barry. I mean, he's in control. He feels he's totally dominating this fight, and he's showing no respect whatsoever to Tim Witherspoon.
That's why I say he's fighting like a man who doesn't feel that he can be hurt. Last time I said that, you got knocked down.
Let's not talk about that, okay?
If indeed Thomas won that round on the judges' cards, it would be a 2-point round, as good as a big knockdown round. Now there you see where he came back with his backhand. This is the wrong sport for a backhand. There you'll see it again there. It's an instinctive reaction. He's not doing it deliberately, and he's sorry almost immediately as he hits his opponent, but it cost him a point that could be an important point. Lunging right hand by Witherspoon, showing some frustration on his part. Now he's got to start thinking of winning and not looking good.
Lift him up. Lift him up.
Right now the champion is behind in this fight.
Some of the best punches of the fight are being thrown by Angelo Dundee between rounds, I'll tell you that.
Pump it. That's it. Make it back up.
So this is the 6th round. And again, Witherspoon comes out blinking his eyes.
Pump it. Don't wait on him. There you go. Don't wait.
Thomas has been so good as far as getting away from those punches thrown by Witherspoon. It seems as though he knows exactly when to move that head.
You're waiting on him, Tim.
He's very, very calm also. Seems to be in control. And he seems to have Witherspoon confused.
Well, that is the key to the fight. In fact, Thomas is far more relaxed than Witherspoon.
Now, Thomas took 2 left hooks by Witherspoon. Might have been his best shots, and he didn't back him up at all.
Now back to the southpaw, and he was caught. And what I see in Witherspoon, he's just floating his jab out. He's southpaw, and I still see that the blinking in Witherspoon, that his eyes, whatever it is, it's really bothering him.
Well, Thomas showing an uncanny ability to get through those gloves on the jab.
And now I see Witherspoon is rushing in.
And Witherspoon looked at Richard Steele about something. I'm not too sure, but Witherspoon's not hurt here.
His eyes is really bothering him, I see now. He's blinking both eyes now.
Definitely is, and I think he wanted to tell Richard Steele something, but remember the credo of protect yourself at all times. Thomas goes downstairs.
What Thomas should do, he should stay on the outside and use that jab. Because quite naturally, the eyes are bothering him. His eyes are really bothering him now, and he can just pick them off.
Well, we haven't heard any conversation in Witherspoon's corner about any problem with his eyes, but the fact is he has been blinking for most of the fight.
Look at the left jab of Pinklon Thomas. It's getting through the defense of Witherspoon so easily now.
And a right hand comes right over the top. And again the jab, right through the gloves. Radar jab.
Thomas' jab is getting through beautiful, but I think he should put some more punches together. Right hand, left hook.
But he is picking the tempo up here. Coming with the right hand a lot more than he was early.
That left jab is devastating. Just snapping the head of Tim Witherspoon.
And Witherspoon a right hand and a left hand to the chin of Pinklon Thomas, but again, Thomas doesn't take a backward step.
See, Thomas, he's using that shoulder again.
That was a good left hand by Thomas. And now he follows it up.
Don't hold him, keep him up.
Shut up, I'm the champ, man. Let's fight. That's all, too. Come on. All right. He's shooting out one jab on you, Tim. That's all he's doing. You're going to catch it some and slip some. All right? That jab, that's all. I'm getting him, too.
Let's take a look here and see if Thomas can, how he's trying to penetrate Witherspoon's cover-up defense here. There was an exchange in the corner there that is very interesting. There's a lot of advice coming to the champion saying you can't let up, you got to go after him. And Witherspoon responded, let's not panic, I'm the champion.
So Witherspoon, obviously, in his mind at least, knows what he's doing. Should also point out, this fight is for 12 rounds. Championship fight, WBC, 12, not 15.
And what has been doing the most damage has been the left jab. Especially for Pinklon Thomas.
I'm really impressed with the left jab of Pinklon Thomas. I really am. One of the best I've seen in the heavyweight division in a long time. Pinklon Thomas, just a good athlete. Was a track man, played basketball, played a little football. Look at that jab.
That jab is beautiful.
I'll tell you, he makes Tim Witherspoon look like one of those dogs in the back of a car.
Those body shots now are starting to hurt Pinklon Thomas. But Witherspoon doesn't stay down long enough.
That That was a good left hand by Witherspoon.
I don't think Pinklon Thomas should be there because he's doing a much better job. He's far more effective on the outside, just using that left jab. Inside, he's taking a chance of being caught by one of those roundhouse punches thrown by Witherspoon.
An overhand right by Witherspoon. Thomas, right at the moment, looks like he might be a little bit tired. That was a good right hand by Witherspoon.
Again, Bud, Pinklon Thomas doesn't want to be inside fighting Tim Witherspoon's fight. He should be outside because he's giving Witherspoon an opportunity to land some of those punches. The left jab has been working great for Pinklon Thomas. And especially he can do much more damage to the eyes because Witherspoon has been blinking throughout the fight. So left jab will come in handy.
And Witherspoon getting the better of it inside. Good right hand. That hurt Thomas. Thomas opens up, however. He was hurt and he came right back and hurt Witherspoon. Might have been the best exchange of the fight on both sides.
Now you see what's happening. Become going for punch.
There was a right hand. He measured Witherspoon with the right and hurt it.
Pinklon Thomas showed us some championship gumption right there. He looked tired. He caught a fusillade of punches and came back with a bigger fusillade. Right now, in my judgment, the champion is in very serious trouble. Unless he puts his challenger down somewhere along the way, I think we're going to see a change of title here.
It's a series of punches thrown by Pinklon Thomas. He's been very impressive using that left jab and really doing a number on Tim Witherspoon. The left jab has been bothering Tim throughout the fight.
Witherspoon was a little shocked to see Thomas come back the way he did. It's still early. There are 5 rounds to go. But Witherspoon has got to get going.
One thing to mention along those lines, Witherspoon was a little bit slow, or rather Thomas was a little bit slow going back to his corner at the end of that last round. And he was leaning on Tim Witherspoon during the round. Now maybe he was just taking a little bit of a blow, we'll see.
And now the jab of Witherspoon is starting to become effective. He's starting to land consistently. And he's starting to come to life now.
A lot of solid jabs in this fight.
Good body shot by Witherspoon.
Very effective jabs on both sides now. Witherspoon still seems to aim his right hand a little bit.
He's not, Witherspoon's not blinking as much, so it appears that his vision is starting to clear up. It's frustrating to have a left jab in your face, but to have a strong left jab that is capable of knocking you back. You really don't like that. It's really discouraging.
There is just the slightest bit of reddening over the left eye of Pinklon Thomas. It's not anything that's a factor right at the moment, but one of those things to watch. Both men scoring here.
You see the way that Pinklon Thomas shies away from that right hand. Pinklon is so strong, he just throws arm punches. He really doesn't put his body behind his punches. And as strong as he is,
and there again, it might have been thumbed that time. Witherspoon blinking his eyes, trying to stay away, and you know he's having troubles here. We'll have to try to take a look at that, see if there was a thumb involved, Larry, at the end of this round.
It just happens so quickly. It's so hard to detect once you hit the replay.
Witherspoon fights off the ropes. Lunging punches.
Very good body movement by Pinklon Thomas.
And Witherspoon just stands there and took a couple of good shots. No question, but the right eye was bothering him. Does not seem to be bothering him right at the moment, however.
If Pinklon Thomas will throw some shots and wants to get inside, he just keep throwing punches. If he decides to fight that in that manner. But he's doing a very good job staying on the outside with the left jab.
Witherspoon being active here and scoring probably the heavier of the two here in this round.
Witherspoon came back in that round. He turned it around a bit. The question now is whether he can sustain it.
Okay. Tommy.
Hey, hold up. Step with the jab. Step with the jab. Take the jab. Throw a left hook.
Now let's see what happened where Witherspoon came out blinking his eye. Right there. And I believe I did see a thumb there. It was absolutely thumbed with that punch. Right there you could see the thumb. It's plain as a picture.
It's just so unfortunate a thumb can change the whole fight around.
Tim Witherspoon has 4 rounds left to defend his title successfully.
Well, right there, you did get a look at really what is the magic of television. It was definitely a thumb. It does not seem to be bothering Tim Witherspoon right at the moment. That is the right eye.
What happens, Bird, once Thomas lands a jab to that eye, Witherspoon starts to blink again. And what I'm sure he's going through is blurred vision.
Witherspoon started to load up a little bit over the last 2 rounds. And the swelling over the left eye of Pinklon Thomas a little bit worse than it was now. Witherspoon the more active of the two over the last round and a half.
Very good lead-off right by Witherspoon. For Witherspoon, his best bet is to get inside and work that body and stay aggressive.
Good left hook by Witherspoon. Witherspoon started to load up a little bit here.
Well, he's getting away a lot of rounds, and in fact, he lost a point on one of the rounds for backhanding Pinklon Thomas. So he needs to get on the ball and become very aggressive.
Well, the jab of Pinklon Thomas has not been as effective in the last 2 rounds. And Tim Witherspoon has started to come around with some left hooks that have done some damage.
The way that Pinklon Thomas throws that left jab to the body. What he should do when he pop a left jab to the body, come upstairs with the right hand.
There's a little bit, I believe, a trickle of blood over the left eye of Pinklon Thomas. We'll wait till they square around face us to be sure about that.
It takes so much out of you when you miss a big punch throw like was thrown by Witherspoon.
Coming down toward the end of the 9th round now, and Witherspoon's been very active the last 2. Well, we want to remind you that tonight's presentation of Young Doctors in Love, there's an irony, all across the HBO network will certainly begin immediately following our coverage of World Championship Boxing. And the film, of course, will be seen in its entirety. Young Doctors in Love. Meanwhile, we're watching a couple of surgeons here in Las Vegas.
All right, turn the right hand over every time he shoots a jab to your stomach, because he's bending over like this. Turn it over. All right, man.
Okay, son. 9 minutes. That's all we got. Okay, baby? Let it all hang out.
Yeah, I got it.
Up and down. Deep breath. Deep breath. Don't worry about your inch. You got it. You deserve it, champ.
And throw the left hook. Turn it over with the right hand. Okay? When you go to the body with the left, turn it over.
I thought I heard Thomas complaining about his ribs there in the corner. He's been getting some good body shots. Witherspoon has come on in the last couple of rounds, and it's a question of whether he can keep it up for 3 more rounds. Conditioning and will determine the end of this fight.
Yeah, I thought I heard the same thing, Larry. I thought I heard him say, what about my ribs? And we, of course, will get all the answers afterward. And when he did get hit downstairs, he backed out of there pretty quickly.
Well, Witherspoon's a great body puncher. And I think if Witherspoon should stay downstairs, maybe he'll see a signal that Thomas is hurt downstairs.
Meanwhile, Thomas, I'm sure, will try to keep the jab in the face of Tim Witherspoon if he is hurt, and just try to keep his man off him. And hope that he's built up enough points over the early rounds. Another observation, too, that Pinklon Thomas is being... Oh, he just threw the right hand there. I was about to say he wasn't throwing the right hand very much, but he came with a couple of pretty good right hands over the top that time.
This would be, outside of marrying his beautiful wife, this would be a great achievement for Pinklon Thomas to win the world title.
Angelo Dundee saying 9 minutes. 9 minutes is all you got to go. And Pinklon Thomas, I'm sure, is counting every tick of that clock at this point.
Well, it's been a very fast pace. In fact, Angelo said just 9 minutes. It's a long 9 minutes. It's a tough 9 minutes.
Thomas again getting that jab through to the face of Tim Witherspoon. And Witherspoon again backhands him to the stomach.
That left jab has worked all night.
Witherspoon lunges at Thomas and got a pretty good left hand in it, back Thomas against the ropes. Thomas seems to want to fight every time he gets hit.
The right hand is starting to drop again. So the left hook will probably land if Witherspoon get close enough inside.
Good left hook by Witherspoon again.
Fatigue is definitely set inside of Pinklon Thomas, although he looked very impressive.
That was partially caught on the gloves of Pinklon Thomas.
But he doesn't need to take those kind of unnecessary punches, Barry. He can get outside and use that beautiful left jab that he has.
Thomas opens up and Witherspoon's back to the ropes.
Six minutes.
Witherspoon is still coming on. He doesn't seem to have the punch to stop Thomas. He's going to just have to overwhelm him in the last 2 rounds if he wants to win.
You only got 6 minutes. This ain't no 15-round fight. Go ahead. Champ of the world, baby. Spit it out.
Angelo Dundee is going after Thomas like a jockey on a horse coming down the stretch, trying to hold him together.
We only got 6 minutes.
Next round, Angelo say 3 minutes, baby. It's our title.
Now look, let it all hang
like showing the horse the whip.
You must not
when
back
he tried
up.
to spin you, you did good. Step right in front of him.
Take it.
Get his legs long. Pick him up.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars, perhaps millions of dollars at stake here in the last 2 rounds of a heavyweight championship fight. A good, tough championship fight. One of the better heavyweight fights of the last couple of years, I think.
In fact, the first one that we saw wasn't a bad one either, so we could conceivably have seen 24 pretty good solid rounds of boxing.
You know what's happening? Witherspoon has given Pinklon Thomas an opportunity to get a breather, and that's exactly what he needs. So Thomas will be content to stay on the outside and throw his jab and catch a breather every now and then.
It does appear that Pinklon Thomas may have an injury, a rib injury of some sort, because he was exhorting his handlers to keep the pressure off by releasing some of the elasticity on the band of his trunks.
His upper body movement, Thomas, he's great. I mean, he gets away from all those punches.
And there's no worse injury, I would think, for any athlete, let alone a boxer, than a rib injury, because it affects your breathing. Thomas is breathing through his mouth a little bit. Witherspoon is busy, but he's not punching.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The fact that the way that Witherspoon is fighting now, Pinklon Thomas should be able to land more left jabs, especially against the ropes. I think Witherspoon at this point should be closer to his opponent, inside, and working the body more.
But he's running out of time. This is a 12-round fight, and this is round 11.
Witherspoon is constantly trying to land that left hook. A lot of times he'll wait and take a few shots and then retaliate with his punch. Well, his left hook. Like, just land.
Good solid left hook, and it stunned Pinklon Thomas. And there's that jab again.
It's a thing of beauty, though. I mean, it's consistent, it's accurate. And it has a lot of power behind it. I think we're looking forward to an upset.
But it's looking more and more like it. Of course, I've seen some pretty funny-looking decisions in Las Vegas. I have to say that.
Come on, work it, get out. Work it, get out. Let's go.
Pinklon's really tired. He was about to throw his right hand, and then he changed his mind.
Pinklon Thomas fighting a defensive fight right at the moment.
Witherspoon's tired also.
Witherspoon trying to work downstairs. And if Thomas is bothered by a rib injury, sure doesn't show it.
I'm sure Angelo's going to say, 3 minutes, baby, and you're the champ.
I thought that was a very odd round for Tim Witherspoon. I don't know why he let up. He may have given up the championship in the 11th round.
Last round. Get his legs, Aaron. All right, get his legs. Come on. Put your legs. Come on. Wake up, Tim. Put your legs. Come on. Last round, right, Tim? Come on. It's the last round. Hey, Tim.
Ain't no more. Don't say it. There ain't no more.
Keep your right hand up, Pink. No. And get under that left hook.
Last round.
Give him a wrist.
You got it. Get all you want, baby.
Come on, fight. Come on. This is it. They're going to send him right out. They're going to send him right out to you. Come on, Kay. Keep your right hand up. Get under them shots.
Keep your hands up.
Don't wrap.
Hands up.
Box. Them shots.
Beat Pinklon Thomas for me. Will you get under the body? Come on, go.
To the body.
Get out.
Well, the last thing Angelo Dundee said was, beat Pinklon Thomas for me. Means that he's got a tired man. And Witherspoon knows that he pretty much has to go for it all here.
Oh, he's letting it all hang out now. So what Thomas has to do, in fact, Angelo's told him to keep those hands up. Witherspoon's going to be throwing everything.
This is it. This is the final 3 minutes. Thomas in a situation of dance with what brung you. And what has brung him has been a very solid left jab.
The left jab has been the key for Pinklon Thomas throughout the fight.
Crowd has really appreciated this fight, too. And in fact, it's interesting that even if Tim Witherspoon should lose this fight, he probably will have won more friends than he did in beating Greg Paige for the title. Good shot to the heart by Pinklon Thomas.
I noticed there that Thomas brought that right hand up and was able to block that hook thrown by Witherspoon.
Witherspoon is fighting the kind of fight that looks to me like he thinks he's got it won, rather than a guy who thinks he's behind.
Oh, that was beautiful body movement by Pinklon. Now this is where Witherspoon doesn't want to be against Pinklon Thomas. Those long arms and strong left jab will start to get through shortly. Watch for the right hand of Pinklon.
Quick right hand lead as Witherspoon leaned in on him. Crowd going into a chant here. Very appreciative crowd with good reason. Very good fight.
It's a very good fight. And a very impressive Pinklon Thomas. You know, it's been a rough night for Tim Witherspoon. He's really trying desperately. And the guy's really giving his all. But I think it's just a little too late.
And the fact is, too, as I said, he probably will have won more friends and maybe a better future, even if he loses this fight. And it ends in a flurry. There was a good right hand by Witherspoon, but a case, I believe, of too little, too late. At the bell, it's over. Each man hand held aloft, thinking he has won the fight. I think Pinklon Thomas has won the fight, but as I said, I've seen some very funny-looking decisions here in Las Vegas, Ray.
Well, I tell you, he was very impressive, very consistent. That left jab proved to be the key punch in the entire fight. Witherspoon had it tough. He was just too tight and just couldn't get his punches off.
So Pinklon Thomas being embraced in his corner. Angelo Dundee, I feel quite sure, thinks that he has another heavyweight champion. He has had two. One of them was named Ali, wasn't a bad fighter. The other one out of Ali's camp, former sparring partner Jimmy Ellis, and here tonight perhaps a third in Pinklon Thomas.
It'd be a great birthday gift for Angelo.
You know, the other thing that strikes me too is every time the mantle passes in the heavyweight division, everybody makes the comparison to Muhammad Ali, and I think in this case there is no comparison, Pinklon Thomas to Muhammad Ali. They're different types of fighters, and maybe finally the comparisons will stop.
Totally different styles, totally different personalities. There's always a different person in the heavyweight division.
And another factor to keep in mind, too, because we have come to the way now that we are going to be decided upon it by a decision. Remember the point that was taken away from Tim Witherspoon for backhanding. And that could have a profound effect on the outcome of this fight.
It's a costly point, especially in a fight as close as this one, Barry.
So Tim Witherspoon, who I would have to think, he says, I won it. You just saw him do that. And perhaps he has, but oftentimes you get a very different perspective of just what's going on from where we sit than you do when you're in there. I don't have to tell you that.
Well, a fighter can tell when he's, when he's behind on points, and at the end of the fight, there's a feeling that comes over you that you know that you didn't give it your best, and it's all downhill.
Well, it's very tough to say. Usually they say the challenger has got to bring the fight to the champion, but I think it's fair to say that Pinklon Thomas did, in fact, bring the fight to Tim Witherspoon tonight.
Well, Pinklon made the fight, and in fact, the left jab worked all night. It was a beautiful, beautiful display of a left jab.
All right, suspense is over. Let's go up to the ring announcer, Chuck Hall, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a majority decision. Judge Hal Miller scores 114 Witherspoon, 114 Thomas. Judge Dalby Shirley scores 115, 112. And Judge Wayne Ford scores 116, 112. For the winner by majority decision and new WBC heavyweight champion, Pinklon Thomas.
Well, we have a new champion. It simply could not have been any closer. I'm not sure I saw quite as close a fight as the judges did, but as I said, I've seen some strange things go on here. And what a long road it has been for Pinklon Thomas. Drug addiction, was a great athlete as a kid, turned to drugs, kicked the drugs, started fighting rather late in life. Credits his wife Kathy with being a big part of the success that has culminated with a victory in a championship in the heavyweight division tonight. He is a happy man. It has been a long road, and it is a very happy ending for Pinklon Thomas. So Thomas is the new champion of the WBC. Tim Witherspoon thought he won the fight. He had his hands held aloft. Chuck Hall, the ring announcer, keeping everybody in suspense until the last moment. Now it is no longer in suspense. And Larry Merchant is with the new champion, Pinklon Thomas. Larry?
Turn him around, Pinklon.
Pinklon. Well, obvious some pandemonium here and justified. Pinklon, you've come a long way. It's been a hard road. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you, man, everything going through my mind right now. I don't know what to say. I got a little bit of tears in my eyes, but everybody sees me and cry. I'm just so happy. I can't realize. I can't believe it. I got to wake up in the morning and see the belt. I promised my little boy the belt. I'm going to give it to him in the morning for his birthday. This is just a great day for me.
Pinklon, you were complaining about your sore ribs later in the fight. What happened?
I wasn't complaining.
No?
I didn't have no hurts. I just seen my jab kept working for me. It was irritating me. He kept acting as I was thumbing him or something.
Well, there was one picture that showed that you accidentally did thumb him. But when did you think that you had him under control and had his style solved?
Well, it was just a matter of figuring Tim out. I know he carried that cross-hand style, and I just really wanted to establish my jab and work things off of it. I felt the jabbing him to his body, from his head to his body, took it from him because I seen his body didn't have no muscle tone to it. And I learned to hit a guy on his shoulders and the chest to the body, you know, and it takes the gas from him. I seen his legs in the fourth round. He was kind of wobbling, you know.
Were you tired in the last several rounds?
No, I was just pacing myself, really. My corner kept telling me to go, and I seen I had it under control. As long as he wouldn't hit me with nothing to bounce, and all I had to do was step back when he got ready to fire because I seen it coming.
Can you regroup your thoughts just for a moment? Talk about your wife, your child. This is one of the more unusual and touching stories of recent boxing history for you to come back from where you came from.
Yeah, my wife has been a great inspiration and a tool in my career, just like my hands and legs in the ring. And my kid also has had to go through all the trial and tribulation and errors with us. And we've had to have we suffer, everybody go through them though. But from my background to my present right now, I'm just so happy, and I hope that, you know, from what I've accomplished will inspire all the people in the world, and I'm going to try to be a great champion.
Quickly, what are your plans now? Who would you like to fight next?
Right now, I'm going to go and just get with my wife. I want to show my boy the belt. I want to look at it. I said I wasn't going to look at it until I won it, so I don't even know what it looked like. And then I want to just give me a little rest, and then I, you know, come back with something.
Thank you very much, Pinklon Thomas. And now back to Barry and Ray at ringside.
All right, thank you very much, Larry Merchant. And there are champions all around the Riviera here, former convention center, surrounded by heavyweight champions. I've got two of them surrounding me right now. The WBA heavyweight champion, Jerry Coetzee, and the IBF heavyweight champion, Larry Holmes. And they, of course, are going to have a fight upcoming. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But first of all, let me get your impressions of the fight that we just saw. We have a new champion in boxing. That's what we need, another heavyweight champion, Larry Holmes. But it was a very good fight.
Yes, I agree with you, Barry. It was a very good fight, but again, they had a championship fight without the champion. I'm the champion, and I think the world knows it. These guys keep fighting each other, and the title keep changing hands. I had the title 6 years, reigning heavyweight, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
All right, eventually this will all get settled for sure. Jerry Coetzee, the WBA champion, let me ask you, before we talk about you two guys, let's talk about what we saw tonight.
Well, I expected Thomas to beat Witherspoon, and I don't think this is good news for Larry, because Larry had a tough call with Tim Witherspoon, and Pinklon Thomas made real easy work of him, and I fought a draw with Pinklon Thomas. I fought a draw. So if I'm Larry, I'll think twice about my upcoming fight.
The kid does have a very effective left jab. We've always talked about your left jab. We saw a pretty good one tonight.
Yes, Pink have a good left jab, but if I were box Pinklon Thomas, I would use stumbler's gloves. But no less, you know, Jerry is making a lot of statements. I'm not worrying about Jerry. All he had to do is sign the contract. I had done it all. I gave money up. I put money up. I postponed dates. I postponed my retirement.
I done it all, Barry. And hey, just to prove to the people, I'm it. I'm the man. I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. Not Jerry Cosilla, not Pinklon Thomas, but me, Larry Holmes, the undisputed reigning heavyweight champion of the world. The world knows it. Let the world be the judge of this, Barry. I don't got to tell you this because you know it.
All right, Jerry Coetzee. Now, this man says we have to sign a contract. Now, we had heard there was a contract signed. Are we going to see Jerry Coetzee fight Larry Holmes?
We're definitely going to see this fight coming off. And Larry Holmes is quite right, but he's been calling the shots as well. And, Larry Holmes is living with a dream. And that dream is not going to continue.
All my
it
dreams
used
come
to
true,
be.
Larry. All of my dreams come true because if it wasn't, I wouldn't have been a heavyweight champion for 6 years. And as soon as this chop here put his name on the contract, I'm going to knock him out. And when the judge make his final decision next week, and then I'll be able to go forward with this fight. But all he got to do is come on, stay the hell out of South Africa, and come on right here and prove to me that he's the heavyweight champ. Don't worry about the dreams. My dreams come true. And when I knock you out, it'll be my other dream come true. And then I might let all of y'all have it. Because I'm bad. Everybody know it. Am I bad, y'all? Am I bad? Who's the champion?
All right, Larry Holmes has rallied the crowd. There is split support here. We got a couple of champions. The word is this fight is going to take place in November, and now everybody's going to have to sit back. We'll watch Pinklon Thomas tonight. We'll watch these two guys, we hope, in November. And while they knock each other out, we'll knock ourselves out and go back up to the ring with our own Larry Merchant, another champion. Larry.
Well, Larry Holmes notwithstanding, we still have 3 heavyweight champions. But I think things are beginning to sort themselves out. Pinklon Thomas won decisively, and it was a popular victory tonight. I think back to the first time we saw Pinklon Thomas 3 or 4 years ago in Atlantic City. He was a substitute for an injured fighter, Tex Cobb. They found him in the casino at 3 o'clock in the morning and told him he was fighting that night. He fought. He looked impressive. I was surprised. It's taken him this long to get here. And tonight, here in Las Vegas, in this casino, he hit the jackpot. And all I can think of now is, are we really going to now have a nation of Pinklons coming upon us? Barry?
All right, thank you, Larry Merchant, and I'm with the champ, Sugar Ray Leonard. Well, I think it's safe to say, really, we talked about the fact that this picture, the heavyweight picture, really was clouded. I don't think it's quite as clouded as it was. And I think both of these guys, the new champion, Pinklon Thomas, and Tim Witherspoon, really made a lot of friends tonight. And I think either one of those guys can give either one of the other guys that we just talked to a pretty good tussle, Ray.
I'm sure, but in fact, both fighters displayed, the actual determination and drive. Witherspoon had a tough going. In fact, Thomas left jab proved to be a factor. It kept him off balance and just was so effective. And both of these fighters are great fighters.
Well, the picture is really starting to come more and more into focus. It will do so as time goes on. And we want to remind you to tune in Thursday, September 6th, as HBO Sports takes you inside the NFL with your hosts Len Dawson and Nick Bonacani. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, right here on HBO. Also, don't miss HBO's next telecast of World Championship Boxing. The undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, defends his crown for the 10th time in a rematch with gutsy Mustafa Hamza. Show. That's live Friday, October 19th on HBO. So for Larry Merchant and Sugar Ray Leonard, I'm Barry Tompkins saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada. Sports is Tim Brain. Tonight's telecast was produced by Ross Greenberg and directed by Jeffrey Payton Goff. The associate producers were Rick Bernstein and Linda Jackson Christian. And the associate director was Peter DePaula. The assistant to the producer is Michael J. Whalen. And the production manager, John McCallie.
been a presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.